All right, so welcome everybody to Empire Wars Duo 2 over here. We are going to have Aftermath B, Herald and Hart versus Vietnam Strategy B, who are totally not Max and Vilas. We have Song Song and Bad Boy over there. That's a bit of an overlay issue, but we will fix that in no time. So, just to clarify this, I'm doing this for a YouTube audience. Twitch probably knows that already, but basically, Gamer Legion had something come up so they couldn't play in the final day. Very unfortunate, but we had all the communications, and the overall conclusions that they also supported was that since they cannot play, the team that lost to them in the quarterfinals, Vietnam Strategy B, should take over. Song Song and Bad Boy lost 3-2 against Gamer Legion. They are the underdogs of this set, but they have been the most entertaining team to watch, super aggressive, sort of the Cinderella story of this tournament. The only team that remains from the ones that qualified with me is going to be Project Belgium to co-cast this set. Let's give him a call and take a look at the draft before we get going with the first game. Hello.
Hey, how are you doing?
I'm good. I am very good. Super hyped for the second semifinals over here. How do you feel about this set?
Well, it's definitely going to be an interesting one, especially since obviously the replacement you talked about. But going into this tournament, A and B would have been my favorite to win this game, to win this tournament. But like you said, Song Song and Bad Boy, they've definitely been the surprise of the tournament. Really aggressive team, really fun to watch. So let's see what they have in store for us.
Yeah. Before we go in, I would like to give a shout out to the people I have sort of ignored during the first first set of the day. So Hammerhold, Bacter, Blue Strawberry, AP, Oldman Willow, and LG Moore, Intruder, and everybody else who subbed. And also, huge shout out to M Sugar for $100 donation. I appreciate it a lot. And there will be a little bit more from that side, I believe. Very soon we'll have some big news before the before the grand finals that's related to M Sugar. So thank you so much for the support. And as I said, this is going to be an interesting one to take a look into. Whenever you are ready for the first game, we can get going. I'm paused already, so let's get going.
Oh, okay. I am in the game right now.
All right, let's do a countdown then with 3, 2, 1, and go. So welcome everybody to Empire Wars Duo 2 over here. Second semifinals, Bad Boy and Song Song with Chinese in red and Berbers in yellow for Song Song. Berbers being a pick for Arabia already tells you how aggressive they want to play. And on the other side, Hera playing Teutons in blue and Vikings for Leary in green. How do you feel about these civs?
Yeah, Teutons is a bit of a surprise. Obviously, in Castle Age, they're a bit slower. Vikings, obviously, probably one of the better civs on Arabia. Leary, excellent archer player, so let's see what they get cooking for us.
Yeah, one of the interesting things here is that Chinese is one of the rare civilizations that could match up against the economic power of Vikings here, as we had Bad Boy trying to get a villager snipe over here. So there were some discussions after sort of GL got replaced with Vietnam strategy that this Vietnam could make this set very interesting because, like, if you just look at these two players, they're not as fancy names as Hera and Leary are, but on the other hand, they're super aggressive and they could easily surprise even Hera and Leary here, though they're definitely the underdogs of this one.
Yeah, for sure. And we see Song Song already heavily walling up, while Hera, he's just taking his time with the walls right now.
Indeed, slow walls coming in here from Leary. And for Song Song, he's coming with quite a long walls on the right side, but those are the straightforward ones. He's got all 3 gold mines at the back. That could be either very safe, or it could be a disaster if he loses control over that.
Yeah, for sure. We also see Leary, he's opting for more of the economic approach, one range, a couple of farms, while on the other hand, we see Bad Boy already dropping his second range. He wants to go full throttle with the army and try to outproduce Leary.
Leary is going to lose a villager over here to Bad Boy's scout. He didn't seem to notice that because he suspiciously not tried to go for the quick walls, and now Leary loses all the archers in the middle. Oh boy. This is what I was talking about, that Leary is going for the eco-heavy approach, but you gotta be careful against this Vietnamese team because they really can turn any kind of small military advantage into an absolute slaughter.
Yeah, exactly. Hera also now moving over, trying to help Leary. He's going to see those archers from Bad Boy, so he'll let Leary know what's up.
And indeed, there is the blue ping. Now, you gotta be careful if you're Bad Boy, because you only have one spearman guarding those archers. And Hera, he is great with the scout micro, beautifully executed, picks off the spearman. And it looks like the defense will be fine here for Aftermath, formerly known as Tempo. They're no longer playing under the banners of Tempo Storm.
Yeah, exactly. Seems like they weathered the storm. Most players are trying to wall off to keep their base a little bit safe. We see Song Song with the really long walls, but he's fully walled, so he's going to be really happy with his position right now.
Yeah, double ranges right now for Bad Boy, but he's one archer down compared to Leary, who is also double ranges. Leary seems like he's gonna be the first one to go into Castle Age. Goes for some awkward looking walls here on the left side, but I guess it works out, so nothing wrong on that. Leary's playing pretty defensive here with his archers, just trying to make sure his gold mine is safe until the walls are finished.
Yeah, exactly. Hera also dropping his second stable. He's just also going to go Castle Age. He's quite confident. His gold is exposed, but not going for a tower because he sees all the army, so he knows nothing is going to me right now. Though saying that, the Bad Boy is moving out with a group of archers in the center of the map.
And that is guarded by one spearman. Hera does have no upgrades on his scouts right now, so it's not like he can easily take that army down. And Song Song went very heavy on scouts here, so they really want to do some feudal age damage, but they'll both be beaten to castle age because of this.
Yeah, exactly. And Leary, he's walled, he has archers at home, so they can't do anything. The only one who is exposed right now is Hera, but they're not really interested in doing damage on him right now.
Yeah, they probably are more afraid of Leary's archers than Hera's cavalry. Because Leary is so brutal with the archer micro that if you just let him build up his archer numbers, it's next to impossible to beat him, even when you have superior numbers.
Yeah, and Hera also very wisely adding a couple of extra scouts, making sure that they don't lose map control, and that they can try to clean up this army.
Yeah, Leary lost 3 archers in this fight. He apparently is already washed up, Kappa. Leary losing archers in a fight is a rare sight to see. Obviously, there is some exaggeration in that, but both AM players reaching Castle Age faster than their counterparts. Hera seems like he's staying on 2 stables, and he'll probably go for a TC on his gold mines and one on the wood lines.
Yeah, he has a great economic setup. Double stable, eco upgrades. Leary also going for crossbowman, botkin arrow. He might be able to pick off some villagers on the exposed wood lines. To see Song Song also taking a bit of stone. He added a tower in the back of his base, so he's trying to make sure that he doesn't take any damage.
Yeah, the timing is great here for Leary. He waits until he has crossbow and Botkin moves in. Nice reaction from Bad Boy, though only losing a villager. Bad Boy's only on 9 archers, though. Goes for fast ballistics. Faster ballistics than Leary, to be precise.
Yeah, and Hera also went for a really fast +2 defense, so even against those archers, for now he's only taking 1 damage per shot because they're not upgraded yet.
Indeed. So ballistics is definitely gonna help Bad Boy micro here. It's almost a must-have against Leary, right? So he's just so good with the archer micro that without ballistics you have no chance of fighting it. +2 defense just now coming in for Song Song. He trades off scouts versus Hera.
Yeah, and we see Song Song with triple stable, so he's just gonna be pumping out, trying to get the numerical advantage on Hera, and they're moving across the center. With that ballistics in soon, it's gonna be really great for him because Hera, obviously being Teutons, he doesn't have husbandry, so it's a little bit easier to shoot those knights that are trying to run away.
Oh boy, Bad Boy getting caught off position here by Hera's knights. And while Song Song's knights are coming in here, Hera looks like he's gonna be able to take down quite a few of the crossbowmen, and Leary was just able to keep his crossbow mess alive the whole time.
Yeah, exactly. It seems like Song Song is a little bit slow with the reinforcements. Now Leary there with a massive amount of crossbows pushing them back. Hera adding 2 more stables. He did a little bit of a mini boom, and now he's saying, "Okay, I want to add more army." That's why he's adding those stables.
He needs to add more army because he's at 4 knights as opposed to 13. And yeah, sure enough, Lyri's crossbow numbers are amazing. But if those knights find a way into Hera's eco, he could easily fall apart economically. And speaking of finding a way, there is an overchop here. For Hera, comes in with the quick walls, so will only lose 2 vills.
Yeah, that's a really great spot by Song Song. Hera with the nice quick walls. 2 knights will get in. No, he's just going back. But Bad Boy is looping around with crossbows, so he might be able to pick up some lumberjacks.
Yeah, a couple of villagers being picked up would definitely help Vietnam, who are behind by 20 villagers. And I kind of feel like if they want to have a shot, this is the game plan that they need. They need to pretty much just use their mobility and double team Hera, because then Lyria will be forced to chase. I don't think that the Vietnamese team have a lot of chance fighting straight up fights. So just force Lyria to chase, and that's exactly what they're doing. Now they're running into Lyria's base, and Lyria doesn't have much at home to defend with.
Yeah, exactly. That's a really great move. Leary even trying to get a panic TC out. But if they spot that, oh, nice university block. But I think they will still be able to kill like 5-6 villagers.
That's a
even
lot of
more.
that villagers. And then the knights can just run past. By the way, Leary never finished his walls on the top. He has an overchop, but he never actually finished that wall to the edge of the map. And now these knights can just leave. This was definitely good damage done on Leary. And now they can go back to Hera's base, who has 11 knights as opposed to 19. I kind of feel like Vietnam is doing the very thing that they need to here to survive, although I think that those knights shouldn't just break out. They should just run around the eco and kill villagers.
Yeah, I think so too. Now the thing is, Leary has a huge amount of crossbows, and that can be a scary thing once he cleans up these yellow knights.
Yeah, that's the reason why we need those yellow knights to raid Leary. Otherwise, as you said, in the moment Leary can move out of his base, he can just steamroll everything with the arts. He also has 4 TCs, so it's relatively easy for him to reboom from the losses. And now I feel like Song Song needs to group up his knights here, because trickling in knights bomb one by one is not gonna help. Especially because Hera has the extra melee armor on his knight, so it's a little bit easier for him to clean this one up.
Yeah, exactly. And now the good thing is that they are together while Leary, he's still trying to get back into the fray because he was in his base cleaning up the knights from Song Song. So they have a slight positional advantage right now.
Indeed they do. They could idle Hera's gold income here. Still, Hera and Leary have a pretty convincing villager lead right now. And the longer the game favors AM here because they do have a paladin civ as opposed to a non-paladin civ.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, and now, once again, Bad Boy's crossbows will probably be caught off guard here. He does have thumb rings, so he will take the best possible fight, but this is still far from perfect. Hera's gonna lose a couple of vills, though. That's the only positive I can say for the Vietnamese team here. And the thing is that it's one thing that Hera has lost to villagers, because the first one to click up to Imperial will be Bad Boy, but he just lost his entire army, so that's a bit of a concern. He could hit Lyri's wood line, though, to retaliate a little bit.
Yeah, exactly. He's going to be in a weaker economic spot, but if he can sort of push the technological advantage, they might have still have a decent shot in winning this.
Yeah, Lyri is coming in here with a huge group of crossbows, though. Imperial on the way for Bad Boy, and he's got some defensive towers. DCs are well positioned. Lyri might not be able to do much, and once again, he will be forced to chase. That's the nice thing here for the Vietnamese team. Eco of Hera and Song Song are absolutely even. Lyri is ahead in Eco though, but later into...
Yeah, he's about to click up. He's just finishing up his siege workshop, and then he'll have his second building, and he'll join Bad Boy in the race to Imp. But like you said, he's going to be approximately a minute later, which means that Bad Boy is going to have a small time window to try and get an advantage. He's even hiding the crossbows in the back of Leary's base.
Yeah,
But they
that's
might
actually
get
very good.
intercepted.
He's got inferior numbers as he now runs into the crossbows of Leary, but just using these small groups of crossbows to pull apart Leary's defense could be massive. And look at Hera. Hera's got 20 knights, but he's teaming them up with Leary, and Song Song allows this, or Song Song now has the chance to run into the base of Hera because of this. This is still risky because I feel like if either Song Song or Bad Boy get double teamed by Leary and Hera, that could be a disaster. But these are the raids that Song Song needs to push off Hera from gold and just stop that knight production.
Yeah, exactly. And if you look at Song Song's base, he's on 6 stables. That's a really massive amount of stables.
Yeah, that feels like an all-in Castle Age to me, but I'm not an expert on this.
Well, behind that, he has the... Oh no, he doesn't have the strongest eco because Leary is on 101 villagers and a minute away from him.
Yeah, Leary is becoming a real threat here with 50 soon-to-be Arbs and the best eco. And look at this, he's getting coinage, so in the moment he reaches Imperial, he could start sending resources to Hera as well. And that's another factor to consider. Hera's got the production, it's just a matter of consistent gold income that he's lacking.
Yeah, exactly. And probably the best thing for the Vietnamese team is if they can try to kill this army from Leary before he gets the Imperial upgrades. They're trying to chase it, but Leary might still have enough time to get these upgrades. He's on that hill. Song Song is running towards it, but...
Oh, was deleted. That was an awkward decision. They want to have a good surround here, but do they have the numbers for this? Actually, that's just before the imp upgrades for Leary. He already has Bracer. This might just be perfect here for Song Song and Bad Boy.
Yeah, exactly. Great walls blocking in the army, and yeah, I think they will clean everything.
Yeah, that's a beautiful cleanup. And look at Leary's Arbalest numbers. Where are they? They are nowhere. Leary just lost the majority of his ARPs. He's down to 24. The bad news for the Vietnamese team is that now Hera is imping, so... Or at least he will be imping soon, and... While Song Song... He's not super far away, but he will probably be behind, and as we discussed, once podding comes into play for Hera, that's not something that Song Song has a good matchup against.
Yeah, for sure. Leary also going for a castle, sort of in the corner of the map, on that hill, protecting the gold. He also is getting the final armor upgrade, so he's Bad Boy for the archers.
Yeah, ARPs coming in here now for Leary, as Bad Boy is only 2 TCs, which means that his eco is still pretty feeble, only 81 villagers, as we got Imperial Age on the way for our last player as well, Song Song.
Yeah, we see Leary pushing forward, but he needs to add some sort of siege like rams or trebuchets, because for now he doesn't really have anything to push the base of Bad Boy. So he's just going to be joining up with Hera in the middle, because we do see Bad Boy and Song Song together there, hitting the TC, but they think better of it.
Yeah, I don't think that they could have taken that TC down. Hera would have probably intervened with his cavalry. At this point, obviously, both sides are careful not to lose their cavalry before the imp upgrades, but that should probably favor Hera and Leary, because the longer the game goes, the better it is for them. Look at where
exactly.
Leary's stonewalling.
Yeah. Hera will also be getting another melee armor on his calf, so they will be even stronger in just these 1v1 fights.
Yeah, the Arbalest numbers are pretty even, although Leary now moves in and he's killing quite a few villagers from Bad Boy, which hurts really badly for a player that has a tough time rebooming with only 2 TCs. So even just a couple of villagers going down here from Bad Boy could actually spell a disaster.
Yeah, Leary even sent 1k food to Hera, so be ready to look out for Cavalier with the Paladin follow-up, like you said.
Hera's got 2.3k food in the bank. He will have to sell some, but come on, that's gonna be instant Cavalier plate boarding. He might even make a second blacksmith for a blast furnace immediately. Looks like that's not gonna be a thing. And I love how Leary is already voling this front off. He's preparing for a long game, and that's Something that Leary hasn't done like a year ago or so. That's sort of a new thing, that they are also preparing for late game, just like GL does in most cases. GL does an excellent job just switching to this late game scenario. Now, Herald Leary does that as well.
Yeah. We do see Song Song even outmatching the amount of knights that Hera has. We see almost 50 for Song Song, 40-ish for Hera. But the upgrades for Hera are going to be kicking in earlier. Also, he has the stronger knights, so this is definitely a fight he can take.
Yeah, that is a fight that Hera Impact would love to take, but even more so, wait until he has Paladin to fight that. He didn't have Iron Casting though, unlike Song Song, that gives a bit of an edge to Song Song still. Defensive castles coming. It looks like our Vietnamese team. Oh boy. Bad Boy just ran into a bunch of ARPs here on the left side without patrol. That was ugly. Nonetheless, Hera's gold mines are very exposed here, and that could be a problem. This is the time to fight for the Vietnamese team before Paladin comes in.
Yeah, exactly. The Hera and Leary, they don't have to fight just yet. They can just stall out and get Paladin, but the Vietnamese teams knows this, and they're diving in for the TC.
Yeah, they need to take a fight here, I believe. Arbalest numbers are much better for Leary, though. He's got 54 versus 35 here on this screen, and Hera's got 45 Cavalier against 57. Vietnam is really trying to just run into the eco of the opponent, but Hera's got a very well positioned defensive castle. The right side is very open for Hera, so that could be a surface to attack. Or just head towards Leary, that could be massive as well. This many Cavaliers inside Leary's eco could easily evaporate it in 5 seconds.
Yeah, exactly. And we're still missing the final attack upgrade from Song Song. Hera, on the other hand, he's getting that also a little bit more than a minute away from Paladin. So once that kicks in, I think we might see a push from Hera and Leary. Yeah.
Yeah, Stonewall's coming in the middle as well for Song Song, so they're actually coming in for a big, long game here. Leary realizes that all the Cavalier are on the left side. In fact, it was Hera telling him, because you saw blue ping, and I think there is a hole here. This could be a disaster for Leary. Hera is coming in to chase.
Yeah, between the range and the palisade.
Hera is coming in to chase, but Leary could easily lose an overwhelming majority of his villagers, and maybe, you know, the fact that you initiate this fight, destroy Leary's eco, and then take an okay engagement is enough for Song Song and Bad Boy.
And I think
heavy camel.
Hera is saying, okay, you kill Leary's base, well, Song Song, then I'm just going to kill your base.
Yeah, that's a reasonable idea as well, because mobility is going to be a bigger factor. There is a group of ARPs here that could slow this down, and Song Song is stacking into heavy camel. But as you said, there is a lot of openings here on Song Song's base. The Arbalest could slow this push down, though. Leary is down to 96 villagers. But as you said, Hera here... Oh, this is gonna be really hard to defend for Song Song, but there's already heavy camel almost finished. A couple of heavy camels here could slow this one down really nicely, and there is some orbs. Whereas for Leary's base, he doesn't really have anything to chase those Cavalier with.
Yeah, also eco-wise, the Vietnamese team is ahead. Both of them are top capped, while Leary obviously took quite a beating with those raids on his eco. There's still quite a lot that they need to clear up.
Yeah, Leary has a huge amount
tried to wall out the Paladin, but Hera managed to make his way into the eco.
Yeah, this is where it gets ugly, but just in time the heavy camels come in. Song Song is actually pop-capped. He has got so many Cavaliers, so he can't pump out more camels. But Murder Hole's even coming in here for Leary for that castle that went down on the left side. Looks like it's going to be Song Song taking a beating as well. But you gotta wonder if this was good enough for Hera, because he's losing a lot of Paladins in exchange.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, that's a lot of Paladins, and Song Song is down to 107 bills. He's got the Berber cheaper camels per knights. Hera still has 50 Paladin though, so it might be enough for Hera, even though it was a very expensive fight.
Yeah, Hera also cleaned up quite a lot of the Arbalest from Bad Boy, but right now there are a lot of camels out because Song Song had pop space again to produce those, and he's going to be cleaning everything, and well, score is almost dead even.
It is, villager count absolutely even, but here comes another wave of cavalry from Song Song. Song is floating a lot of wood as well, and they already have established trade. That's something that's kind of different between teams. I think Vietnam has a way better trade, and I'm actually right about that. 29 versus 17 trade cards.
Yeah, and in like the post-imp, I would say Chinese have a couple more options over Viking, like having Halberdier, could even go into Chukonu, though only on one castle. While
Exactly.
obviously Teutons slightly stronger than Berbers, but Song he's doing a really good job of using his mobility because, like we said, Teutons they don't have husbandry, so they can chase the entire game like we see right now.
Yeah, exactly. Still, it's gonna be rough against those Teuton Paladins, and you know that Hera knows that exactly, and it seems like we're gonna have a heavy camo switch here. Song is coming in with the camo raids, knowing that the only way Hera cleans up the cavalry raids is with Paladins, and I think this is intentional from Song to pull all the Paladins to the far left with his Cavalier, and then come in with the camos on the right. Bombard towers, as you mentioned, another option for Chinese over Vikings. And since Hera is forced to chase, skirms actually work out to a certain extent for Bad Boy, because there isn't really a lot of cavalry on the field.
Yeah, and we see also Bad Boy moving in with a group of Arbalists, so they will be able to snap all the trade cards.
All Leary with a perfect...
They
Nope,
stick together.
that's not a perfect trap. It almost seemed like it's gonna be a perfect trap with the University.
Ooh.
But behind this one, Hera's now gonna be in trouble, because there is Arbalest moving in, and they are going for the trade here. Also, Hera has a lot of villagers in this corner. I feel like that castle might not go up.
Yeah, I think so. I think
The camels just ignore it. That castle is going up because the Arbs will have to focus the Paladins instead of the...
That's quite bad. Yeah.
That's very bad for Bad Boy. And Song, and look at the quick walls from Hera. That's just sick. Nonetheless, his food eco is now getting raided like crazy. Hera has 14 on food, 13 on gold. Look at Song with the Hussars. Hera's eco, he's got 65 idols. Hera's eco is dead.
Their entire base is walled, so the AM boys they can't raid the Vietnamese team.
Indeed, and those Paladins getting cleaned up will hurt really badly now for Hera, because replenishing them is gonna be rough. And behind this one, the Vietnamese team also has the advantage in trade card numbers, so soon Hera could have the problem of running out of gold, and then it's gonna be Teuton Scouts against Cavalier from Song.
Yeah, and that's a situation you never want to be in.
In the middle, there is some Arbs pushing in Leary as well. Leary losing a huge amount of villagers in the middle. And now, Bad Boy and Song have a 50 villagers lead Hera attacking up hills against mostly Hussar. Only 13 camels though for Song, something that hurts really badly.
Yeah, exactly. But like you said, they don't have that much trade, so if Hera somehow loses those... or that massive paladin, it's going to be really tricky for him to replenish those numbers.
And since Hera is fighting on the right side, that allows Skirmisher / Halberdier and Siege Ram to push Leary's base here. And with that forward castle, denying this wood line could be huge as well, because AM will start running out of wood at this base at the back of their base. So having a forward castle like that for Bad Boy could be massive. And with Siege Ram and soon Halberdier inside, they could even contest that castle. Heavy camels converging as well to deal with Hera's cavalry.
Yeah, and it seems like Hera is gonna be trying to stomp this entire push from Bad Boy, and I think he will be successful.
He will.
Bombard Tower, but
Yeah.
I don't think it will get up. Maybe.
The Bombard Tower will get up, but there's gonna be a lot of casualties here for Hera. He still has 35 on gold. But as we discussed, Hera right now is on 23 trade cards as opposed to 32 from Song, and Song even has the discount on his units. So it's
those heavy camels, they came in really clutch, just in time to save Bad Boy.
And it's going to be much harder for Hera to replenish his cavalry than it is for Bad Boy. Nonetheless, the Arbalests are now here for Leary, and there's still 60 Arbalests, and I just don't see the army for Bad Boy right now.
Yeah, it seems like Bad Boy did a little bit of an overboom. As you can see, 160 villagers. Those are trade cards counting for as well. So he needs to sort out his macro a bit.
Yeah, that's a bit of an overboom. They still have their stone wall standing, but I kind of feel like the raids that we had before by Song Song are now gonna have their effects lost, because Hera and Lear are both back at good villager count.
Yeah, also trade count, both Leary and Hera looking towards 30, while 44, 34 for Song Song Bad Boy, so they're both looking at really healthy numbers right now.
Alright, now we have some Hussar coming in on the right side again, and Song Song needs a good raid in here. Hera now done with the walls. I feel like at this pace, AM will eventually snowball this one with the Teuton Paladins if the Vietnamese team cannot find a way to raid the eco. There is a hole on the right side. Looks like Song Song didn't really notice this, but if he finds it, those Hussar could easily run in, and I feel like the situation is so tough because Hera has an insane mass of Paladin that you will have to destroy at some point.
Exactly. And I think we might be seeing a switch into Camel Archers, because I do see Song Song getting Chemistry Botkin Arrow, so maybe that's something that's on the menu for him.
It's possible. Camel Archers in the long run would be great, they retain their value so well, and what they're really useful for is running into the trade. You ever get to the trade, and they will just steamroll it. Speaking of getting to the trade, now Song Song is in, and once again Hera's gonna have to divert some of his cavalry to fight that.
Yeah, Song Song even killing a TC with some heavy camels and Hussar. Raiding, like you said. Hera still on a healthy macro count. He's having 60 Paladin right now, 34 in the queue, so he's not stopping with his production anytime soon.
In fact, for the next couple of minutes, even if Song Song kills Eco from Hera, it's just gonna be good for Hera because he can get more Paladins. You really need to grind down those villager numbers and then start killing those Paladins for this one to work out. 4 traps coming in here for Leary. I don't think that this castle will stand for Bad Boy.
Yeah, it seems like Bad Boy is having some troubles with like keeping up with his army count. Like I said previously, he does have maybe a few too many villagers or trade cards, so he should look into that.
Yeah, that's probably indeed the case. Now Rams are pushing in here for Song Song. The good news for the Vietnamese team is that Hera will have to start focusing on the right side now, because the raids are intensifying, and for now he could afford to keep his Paladins on the left side, but that may not remain like that for a long time.
Yeah, and I just wanted to say it, but Hera is already doing it. Some halberdiers could be a good addition for him to deal with those heavy camels, but he's adding in a couple of barracks, so that's probably what we'll see from him.
Onagers coming in here for Bad Boy against the Arbalests, and Hera can just afford to keep his Paladins on the left side. As I said, he starts losing vills, he replaces them with Paladins. He has 69 Paladins, nice. Song Song with 4 castles. I'm not sure if he has Kasbah yet, but once he gets to good Camel Archer numbers, that's something that Hera and Leader will have a tough time dealing with. Teutons aren't really great at catching up with those mobile units, and this could be a perfect sandwich.
Yeah, exactly. Focusing down the Arbalest while the heavy camels going for the Paladin. This is a really good surround.
Yeah. Behind this one, the trade is still better for Bad Boy and Song Song, and the cheaper Berber units now come in really handy. Hera's Paladins all getting shredded on the left side. Now you gotta be careful about losing those camels though, because the Arbalests will still pick them apart, but Lear is forced back for the time being. Hera with the Paladins coming on the right side, but just look at the trickle of Hussar, Camel, and Camel Archer all across the map. Meanwhile, Hera still pumping out those Paladins. You defeated one wave, but there is a second one.
Yeah, exactly. They just have constant production.
I kind of feel like the key thing here for Song Song is to isolate Hera's cavalry from Leary, because Bad Boy already mixed in some skirms that can help push Leary, and this ridge is perfect in the middle to just try to stop Hera's cavalry there, but Hera just has an insane flood of Paladins here.
That castle is risky. Okay, bad boy deletes it because Leary did have 4 traps ready there to
Yeah,
shoot it down.
that shouldn't have worked. Onagers are now in, and without cavalry support, the Onagers will pick apart those ARPs from Leary. Even with Leary's micro, that's more than risky, let's just say that. But here comes Hera with all the Paladins. Looks like Song Song. I feel like now Hera's Vows are intact, so getting into the trade is not really a possibility, but the thing is that I think that at this point, Camel Archers getting to the trade is the win condition for the Vietnamese team.
Yeah, exactly. Like even Song Song could research onagers, so that way he can cut in some of the wood lines that Hera still has, and then run in.
Yeah, exactly. Even then, it's gonna be rough. Once again, the Camels get a good surround here, and now the Camel Archers are coming in. Don't tell me there's a hole there. Looks like there's no hole, and in that case, that's a bit of a blunder. But that's a big force for Vietnam's strategy here. And the Siege Rams are also soaking up a lot of arrow fire on both sides. Oh, there is a hole. There is a hole now, and the Camel Archers need to move in. Leary with a quick pause. Oh, this could be a perfect trap then.
Yeah, exactly. If Leary joins him, they could clean all those camel archers, and seems like he will. Yeah, that's going to be a
He's
really
coming
nice
in
trap.
here. Hera with the Paladins, sniping all those. That felt like a good move at that time from Song Song. And he takes down quite a lot of Paladins, but in retrospective, that was a mistake, diving in there. Leary with the clutch quick wall. That could have lost the game for them if the Camel Archers get in there. Oh
But
boy.
now we see another wave from Song Song. He has like a mix of heavy camel, hussar, camel archers, just all the good units that you want to see for Berbers.
Yeah, we have a rocketry coming in for Bad Boy though, so he wants to switch into Chukonus. I could see them onager cutting, like there is definitely some wood lines here on Leary's side to onager cut, or just fire up hills with the onagers.
That almost was a really sick shot.
Yeah, Thumbring still missing for Song Song. In the long run, the population efficiency of the Camel Archers will come in really handy. They now have 4 Pierce Armor, just missing Thumbring, and I think Maghrabi Camos as well. Hera's down to 26 Paladins, he's floating 9k food. Now he has good trade card numbers though, so the Paladin flood will never end here from him.
Yeah, and honestly, we could even see Hera making a switch into Siege Onager, because he's the only person that could make
but
those.
this is a scary fight here for Hera and Leary. It's very, very chaotic and it's hard to call, but it kind of feels like, with the help of the hill, the Vietnamese team is pushing this one back quite relentlessly. And Onagers coming from the other side. This could easily be a big trap here on Hera and Leary. Onagers out on
Leary,
both
he's
sides.
moving back.
Yeah. I think you got an onager cut now with those onagers for Bad Boy. You get the Camel Archers in, and Leary and Hera will never catch them. Hera's cavalry is gone. Hera's down to 21 army, and this is where the Teutons will be a problem. You don't even have light caps, so your trash cavalry is really trash. Onager, Leary coming in once again with the University Wars, and this time around Song Song thinks twice before diving in.
Yeah. I think a nice spot to cut is like all the way at the bottom where Leary has that castle.
Yeah,
There's
well,
one wood line, and then they're exactly to the trades.
yeah, that's a place, or potentially the wood line next to the siege workshops of Bad Boy that could also work. That will allow you to go in. Looks like they are trying to bash their way through these walls. I could also see petards, honestly. Look at Song Song's castles, by the way. He's got 58 Camel Archers in queue, if anyone was wondering. So, I could see 3 petards blasting their way through the right side on the walls and just running in. But I kind of feel like Vietnam is slowly taking over in this one. Their army is going to be much more population efficient in the long run. And
yeah, they will be having control of that hill in the center, which is
Camel
really
Archers
crucial.
are moving to the left. So there's a chance we will see an onager cut there. Or just run in. I mean, you can just run inside and it's wide open.
I don't see any siege onagers, or is it open? Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, Leary has chopped through and you can just walk in. So, Oh, Onagers now coming in as well for Bad Boy, and they're pushing Leary and Hera back really heavily. Hera's only at 24 paladins, and there is heavy camos to fight against that. And here they come, the camel archers run in. Big Onager shot as well in the middle. Leary's at 50 Arbs. His opponent has a mix of Chukanus and Arbs, but that's probably better against the Siege Ram. But it looks like Leary might not even notice the camel archers until it's too late, and that could be the final nail in the coffin.
Yeah, it seems like they didn't even notice yet. And that's just gonna be like a massacre in the trade.
Yeah, it's
so what you do now is you just split up exactly what they're doing, and you try to hit at like 3-4 spots to do as much damage as you can.
And you gotta be careful. The thing is that Leary might not even notice, because he has to be very careful with his Arbs about the micro. He looks away for a moment and he loses his Arbs to an Onager, so he might not even be looking. Yeah, it very much seems like Hera and Leary may not have even noticed this. And by the time they notice, it's going to be too late. Their trade is going down.
Yeah, now they've noticed, I think.
Yeah, but I think it's
Really,
too late.
Yeah.
And in the moment you take away forces from the middle, they will bash through and push through with bombard towers. I think Vietnam Strategy B is doing this.
I think so too.
Now this would be a big upset here, obviously. This is the only team that remains from the qualifiers. Everyone else, I think the only team that got to the quarterfinals from the qualifiers. I talked to Ornlu about this team, by the way, as we have some beautiful quick walls from Hera to potentially trap those camel archers. Oh, that's a beautiful trap, I have to admit. That was just absolutely marvelous.
Yeah, and we still have a group of camel archers who are sitting like right next to the market, still getting some pickoffs, but Leary's sending in some arbalists to deal with that right now.
The problem for them is that I feel like now it's going to be open once again because they had to divert forces from the middle. Hera's got 57 paladins again, but Leary is down to 88 eco. Siege Onager on the way for Hera. They need some big blasts over here to make it happen. So, what I wanted to highlight is that this team was in the same group as Miguel and Dogao. They were with ACCM and Bacti and Halis and Blink. And Ornlu said that Vietnam Strategy B will be the strongest team that doesn't get through the group stage. Hera's gonna have to do a lot of quick walls here as well because the camel archers are knocking on the doors once again.
Yeah, exactly. And if I look at the trade count right now, well, they still have quite a decent amount of trade cards, 37, 33.
Now I think wood control is a problem for Leary and Hera. Leary only has 1,000 wood and, you know, he's making traps, he's making onagers, so he's using that wood pretty actively. Big fight on the right side, but there's still 49 camel archers queued up from Song Song, and it's easier for him to replenish his army than it is to replenish it for Hera and Leary, I believe.
Exactly. Hera getting really close to SO, but Song Song, he's able to make some BBCs, so he can just snipe those Onger and soon to be SO.
Exactly. Treadmill Crane in for the Vietnamese team as well. They also overchopped the wood lines, but Hera and Leary can't send in any kind of units to raid because otherwise they would just get overrun on the front line.
Yeah.
Song Song is floating 10,000 wood.
And I think Song Song is still missing the Great Wall upgrade, which gives a little bit more HP on his towers. It also impacts the BBTs.
Exactly. He could have gotten it even for his walls, as now the Camel Archers once again attempt to dive in here. It's a little bit risky for Song Song because that's a significant portion of his forces, but it looks like this time around, Hera wasn't looking there, and they get in. Hera was probably looking at this fight in the middle, but bombard towers, castles, and the camels are also helping quite a bit because Leary can't access that area to fight. Siege Onager is on the way, but I feel like now the trade is going to collapse here for Aftermath. SOs won't be able to fight against the bombard towers either.
Yeah, indeed. And replenishing those trade cards is going to be so costly for them because the wood control is slowly running out for the AM boys.
Hera is out of gold, in fact, and that means replenishing the paladins will be very rough, and halberdiers won't crack it against the camel archers. Hera and Leary are still holding this one, and it's admirable how well they are holding given the circumstances, but I feel like unless they get some huge onager shots here, this is gonna be insanely hard for them to pull back. Oh, Leary, it's a big
Yeah,
onager
exactly.
shot. And as I said, Hera is just forced to chase Camel Archers with Halberdiers, which is never a good sign. And there it is. There it is. Talk about upset in the making. On the map where you would just say, okay, Hera and Lear should stomp on Arabia, boy oh boy, did Vietnam win this.
Yeah, really great showing by them. They're showing why they are a worthy replacement of the GL guys.
Yeah, exactly. They lost only by one game against GL. It was a very, very competitive set as well. And probably a lot of people had concerns as well, looking at this Vietnam team and saying, oh yeah, it's not the same as GL, they will get swept by Hera and Leary. Looks like that's not the case. And really, that Camel Archer switch came just in time. There were some scary moments for Vietnamese team, but once we get to this post-team scenario, the Vietnamese are just as good as Hera and Leary, if not better, because these Vietnamese players play an awful lot of team games, so they know exactly how to play these super long post-Imperial scenarios.
Yeah, exactly. And they made really good use of their mobility, their great tech. We saw the BBT from Bad Boy just using the Chinese to their full potential. Well, in post-imp, Vikings, they sort of start to fall off, and that's what we saw in this set.
Exactly. Vikings completely fall off in Imperial. They have an insane economy, insane armies. As long as you are beating your opponent to Imperial and stuff like that. But once you get to Imperial, they suddenly are like, okay, we have Arbalest and we have Siege Ram, and that is pretty much it. And combine it with Teutons that don't even have light cavalry. So that also hurt quite badly. I want to give a shout out as well to Song Song, who, behind all of this carnage, captured 4 relics. That's 3k extra gold for him as well because of that.
Yeah, that's really smart by him.
I just want to quickly look at the APM graph, and you can tell that the APM generally much higher for the Aftermath guys, but it's also about how you play this and how long the game goes. Especially how long the game goes was the question here. So, with that, I think we are ready for the second game. So, whenever you're ready, we can get going. Just let me know, and we'll do a countdown.
Okay, I'm ready.
All right, hold on for a moment. So, game number 2 over here, we will have the first home map of Hera Leary. Over here, Atacama River Belt and Golden Pit are their home maps, and it looks like it's Golden Pit. Let's do 3, 2, 1, and go. So welcome everyone to Golden Pit over here. Are you surprised that Hera and Leary went for this sort of traditional and slower paced map instead of something like Atacama? You would think that their style suits more of the open maps, and maybe they are also aware that Songsung and Bad Boy are so aggressive that they want to go for a slower paced, more traditional map.
Yeah, I think that's probably like the reason why they did it. The one thing that surprised me is that we saw in the draft that the Vietnamese guys, they picked Bohemians quite early, and we're also seeing them being played on Gold Rush.
It's chemistry crossbows over here, ladies and gentlemen. Something that can work out really nicely, but it takes a lot of time to get to chemistry. It's a expensive upgrade, takes a lot of time to research. And this is where we have to highlight that one of the best civs for this map, Berbers, is now gone for Song Song and Bad Boy. So they play Indians, a civ I'm not really a big fan of. I'm not sure what you think about Indians in 2v2s.
Well, I think they definitely have their spots, but on a map like this where it's more closed, I think they sort of fall off. I think they're great in maps where it's more open and where you can go for a big spam, but on maps where you sort of need knights, they are not the greatest, obviously, because they're Indians. They can't make knights.
Yeah, exactly. And on the other side, we have the Burgundians, so they must be making cavaliers. Alright, so range coming in here for Bad Boy. Obviously, the free mining camp upgrades are also a very, very nice buff over here for him. So it's not like he's just picking this for the chemistry crossbows. He will also have a very, very nice eco boost. The problem that he's facing is that his base is still wide open.
Yeah, on the other side, Leary is moving forward with 2 spears and 1 archer. That's just to harass his opponent, but by the time he gets there, Song Song might be walled, though his villager walked a bit too far out. Might be close. I think Leary still might be able to get in there.
And now the scouts from Song Song come in. Hera didn't really bother walling that much, but was a beautiful reaction from him to delete all those farm foundations to avoid them getting lamed. And it looks like Leary is actually getting into the base of Song Song here.
Yeah, and that's super annoying to deal with. Song Song already dropping a tower. Obviously, 2 spears and an archer. It might not look like too much, but it's really annoying to deal with if you're the scouts player.
Exactly, and forcing a defensive tower on the opponent is pretty massive because now you can't make a TC in the middle, something that would help immensely without mining stone. That defensive tower also isn't really great. You gotta abandon your berries, a lot of contingency walls, and now Hera comes in with the scouts as well, and this will just remain open. Bad Boy will have to chase and help out.
Yeah, exactly. He's sending over 3 archers to spear, so they will be able to deal with that. But yeah, as you can see, a lot of idols being pulled in Song Song's base, so definitely not ideal. While meanwhile, Leary, he's completely safe. Hera also looking fine. He cleaned up those scouts from Song Song in the back.
Yeah, there is going to be one villager going down from Song Song, but you see that it took forever for Bad Boy to chase this down, and I feel like there's already enough damage done here by Hera and Leary. You see that Leary and Hera are both getting close to clicking up to Castle Age. Song Song is gonna be quite a bit delayed.
Yeah, exactly.
So, double range archers right now for Bad Boy. Obviously, when we look at Tatars versus Bohemians, we have to mention that Bohemian eco is going to be stronger than Tatars will, but the free Thumb Ring will help quite a bit in exchange for Leary, who is just slowly walling up. He wanted to play this aggressive playstyle, so just forces his opponents to defend and takes his time to wall. Scouts will get trapped in here.
Yeah, and both him and Bad Boy clicking up at the same time to Castle Age. Hera will do so right now. So Song Song will be the last player to Castle Age because he got harassed quite a bit, so his eco is a little bit behind.
Yeah, it's quite a bit behind, in fact. He has gotten Horse Color, though, something that neither of the AM guys have, so there is at least some sort of positives related to that.
Oh, and Hera might even be able to snipe some of the
Oh, that
archers
could be
from
brutal.
Song Song.
That
From
could be
Bad Boy.
brutal.
Yeah.
Looks like Hera didn't see them. That's very lucky there for Bad Boy. There is going to be triple range crossbows. So, triple range chemistry crossbows, but really, early on Leary's crossbows would be way better. Thumb Ring is an instant upgrade and it's free. Whereas for chemistry you need to get the university. First you probably go for ballistics anyways. Then it's a lot of food, a lot of gold. And it takes like
Bohemians, they also have the cheaper university, so that also helps out a little bit.
Yeah, that helps. I think the biggest bottleneck is either the massive food cost, which is basically the same as Thumb Ring, but more importantly, the 150 time it takes to research it.
Yeah, exactly. It just takes such a long time, while the free Thumb Ring, it's instant, and it's a nice early boost to your army.
Now, question, do you think that Indian Lightcap could actually be considered here? Because you could go for those high Pierce Armor Lightcaps sort of as an arrow sponge, and use chemistry crossbows to deal with the Cavalier. Or are you just going for camels if you are Song Song?
I think it's tricky. We do see Song Song adding in more stable, so I guess he's going for the light calf.
Yeah, I actually like that a lot more. This is something that Hera did with Indians, especially because Song Song is off from gold. This means that producing camels would be tough anyways. This is going to be tricky for Hera and Lear because they could easily get their army trapped in here in exchange. The question is how much damage they do, and they are doing a lot of damage so far.
Yeah, so Bad Boy, he's chasing, already getting ballistics, also got a monastery to get fervor to make his villagers move a bit faster, which is a slight economic boost.
Exactly. Now it's ballistics in for Bad Boy. No ballistics for Leary, but he has Thumb Ring in exchange. They probably realize that they will lose this army anyways, and they will just focus the vills. Song Song is down to 37 vills. Even with the light calves, they don't have the chain barding upgrade, so they just have 4 pierce armor. They will die to the crossbows here.
Yeah, and because Bad Boy didn't have the greatest eco, he's not even able to afford chemistry, so not being able to utilize his bonuses to the full potential just yet.
Indeed, he's going for a second town center right now. He's getting close to chemistry, but you see that Hera and Lear are already colonizing the middle. Crossbow numbers are slightly better for Bad Boy. Here is chemistry, but without any kind of cavalry support, I just struggle to see this one happening. Hera already has 10 cavaliers with +2 defense, +1 attack, and husbandry soon.
Yeah, exactly. While they were raiding Song Song's base, Hera had the time just to get the Cavalier switch in, so he's definitely really happy with his position right now.
And now you got the 2 TCs for Leary as well, so he's just going to keep growing his economy. As Hera, I think, found one more villager kill with those scouts before they went down. Chemistry crossbows are nice here, and Indian light cav on paper works. It's a matter of 6 light cav versus 11 cavalier.
Oh, that might be a really good patrol here for Bad Boy.
It is
But we see
possibly,
Hera.
but here is Hera with the cavalier. They'll have to take the hill. As chemistry is now in, so this is where those cavalier could melt like butter. But I think Hera and Lear are just content to sit on this lead and just play 2 TCs here for Leary. Wouldn't be surprised to see either of them going for a castle at some point.
Yeah, exactly. They know that they did quite a lot of economic damage, so they don't have to force any engagements just yet.
Indeed, it's only 8 light cav from our yellow player, and I think Leary and Hera are thinking about sandwiching this army. This feels like a bait here. Leary is baiting them in the middle, and Hera comes in from the other side. Looks like Bad Boy realizes what's going on. Is it going to be enough, though? Hera is perfect with the blocks here. That's probably game. Actually,
Yeah.
the Cavalier go down, but I mean, these villagers could easily get intercepted. This is not enough for Bad Boy and Song Song. Leary has more crossbows.
Yeah, they should be able to clean this if both of them dive, but seems like they're content with just staying in the middle.
Yeah, Song Song isn't really making any army, to be honest. Just making a couple of light cav out, but he's currently on 3 light cav and a spearman. Not much of a contribution right now. And oh boy, that TC... yeah, this game is over, I think.
Yeah, just in sheer power, the light cav don't really add much once it's really fighting one-to-one.
Yeah, and yeah, those crossbows are amazing. But, well, there is the Cavalier coming in with the heal advantage. And they force away Bad Boy from the gold in the middle. Bunch of idols here for Bad Boy. Heron did already have a 23 villagers lead, but 62 army to 20 is probably more telling, and that DC isn't going up for Song Song either.
Exactly. They're even adding in a 30C. They're denying all the gold control in the center, and it's just a matter of time before gold runs out, and then can't do anything but GG gold.
Yeah, it looks like Heron leaders strike back really fast over here. And that just comes down to that wall failed at the beginning for Song Song. Maybe he went for a little bit too greedy walls. If he was a little closer, like to the wood line that spans to the edge instead, then maybe he would have had time to finish those walls. But he got set back, and from that point on, Heron Lear just finished it off. I also think that Indians are not really a suitable civilization for this one.
Yeah, exactly. I think those two things were the main reasons why they lost this game.
Yeah, obviously there's a trade-off at using Berbers on Arabia, and it would have been amazing for them to have it here. But it is what it is. They went for it on Arabia, they got the win, so they must be happy about that, but they had a sort of underwhelming civ. For this one, Burgundians yoinking a win here for Hera Lear alongside Tatars, and we're even Steven, so this is where Vietnam strategy will have to win their own home maps. They have the Arabia game, so they, in quotation marks, just have to win their own home map. But that's going to be very hard against Hera and Leary, obviously.
Yeah, they're just such a solid team. If you make one mistake, they won't give you the chance to come back from it.
Exactly. Hera and Leary are really punishing. They carve out a bit of a lead and they don't let it slip out of their grasp. So, are you ready for game number 3 here? We're going to either Kawasan Forest Pond or Cape of Storms, so Vietnam strategy is going for some slower paced maps, which could help quite a bit considering that, you know, on the long Arabia game, they played pretty well.
Yes, I'm ready for the third game.
All right, let's do a countdown, and then we can get going in this one. So, 3, 2, 1, and go. Welcome everybody to Kawasan. Apparently, this is the map that Bad Boy and Song Song chose for themselves. They have Franks and Malay on the north, and on the south it's Burmese and Italians for Leary and Hera. Which of these two civs do you prefer?
I would give the slight lead to the Vietnamese guys with Malay and Franks.
Yeah, this is interesting that you got Burmese for Hera over here, not the conventional scout civs that you think about, really. But I think Burmese have pretty decent cavalry overall. They do have plate barding available, they do have cavalier, and I think they might even have fully upgraded the cavalier. Song Song potentially finds a villager here from later to delay his dock.
Yeah, exactly. To a fully upgraded cavalier. And like we see, Spearman just in time to save that villager. Leary, he's Italian, so he wants to make use of his cheaper fishing ships. Meanwhile, we see some scout and spear action over on Hera's base, but we might soon have some archers, and they will be able to even out the fray. Hera already with 3 scouts. He's moving around at the pond on the left, so he might be able to do some damage on Bad Boy's gold mine, but Bad Boy smartly adding spears so that he doesn't get any damage done.
Indeed, scouts are now moving in from Song Song though, and that's the first villager killed from Leary. Song Song coming in strong. Those Frankish scouts with the extra HP definitely help, but there is Hera to retaliate, and I think Bad Boy will also lose 1 or 2 vills here. Yeah, 1 villager definitely goes down, so now it's even in many ways. Archers, though, moving into Hera's base, so Hera's gotta be careful, especially with those berries.
Yeah, exactly. And we also see Song Song, he added in a tower on the back of his base because he does have his gold and his stone right next to each other, so that's going to be convenient if he wants to add TCs. He can just mine a bit of stone on that
resource
mining
spawn is crazy. That is just brutal. Now, looking at Hera, he might find a villager kill with 2 low HP scouts, but both of them were so low that they will just come back. And now it looks like Song Song might try to run past Hera's DC here, then thinks twice Hera can trap those inside.
Yeah, and Bad Boy had 2 spears there, but he wasn't really paying attention, so Hera even cleaned that army with like 3 scouts. But now we see Bad Boy Song Song together, going to do a little bit of harassment on the wood line.
Yeah, it's definitely setting Hera back a tiny bit. By the way, Hera has 2 fishing ships, we have 3 for Song Song. Leary's got 3 as well. The only player that's not on fish is Bad Boy right now. This is actually pretty massive because Leary with that fishing eco is already getting close to clicking up to Castle Age, whereas for Bad Boy, he's really far away from Castle Age.
Exactly, we do see him moving onto a dock right now. Obviously, he's Malay, so he could catch up in the uptime a bit, but yeah, he's still quite a bit away from clicking up.
Now this group of archers, oh boy, this could hit Hera's gold mine here very nicely.
Yeah, and Hera only has 2 scouts there, so on the other side, we also see Song Song coming in from the bottom, so this might be like a 2-prong attack.
Yeah.
That could do a lot of damage.
Hera is about to hit Bad Boy's base though, so even if Bad Boy kills a couple of vills, I mean, he's gonna have something to compensate for, as that's actually 1 villager.
Hera was just patrolling there, but now he's engaging.
Yeah. And Hera only lost 1 villager. I think Bad Boy will lose more. That's probably -2, maybe even 3. And a defensive tower comes up for Bad Boy. It probably would have been easier to just go for bows. And now Leary comes in with the archers as well. I think AM is doing more damage here than Vietnam is, although now that I look at Hera's base, I'm not so sure anymore. Oh, this is
Yeah, good balls from Bad Boy.
such an awkward
Hera scouts
situation.
on stand ground.
The tower actually goes up, and this prevents Leary from... Actually, Leary is going to try diving beneath it. So there may be a couple more villagers killed. But Hera is losing a lot as well. Hera and Bad Boy basically at the same villager count in the end. But the cavalry player of the opponent is going up to Castle Age faster here. So that should be favoring the Vietnamese team here a tiny bit, especially if Hera keeps losing a couple more villagers here on his gold mine. Quite a few villas are very weak there.
Yeah, the good thing is that Hera does have 6 fish compared to only 1 for Bad Boy, so he will be able to recover economically a little bit better than Bad Boys right now.
That's absolutely true. Leary is on 2 docks heading towards the base of Song Song. Song Song actually tried a forward villager here for a dock, but that's going to fail even after the archer gets picked off. Is he gonna get that dock up? Nope. Lear dispatches 1 archer to clean that up. But now it's going to be knights, and Hera is still pretty far from knights here. So I feel like this is the time where you're gonna use your mobility if you are Song Song and just try to use the knights to raid. And Bad Boy can catch up to Castle Age here because he's Malay, so... Once he stabilizes his economy, he should be all good to go. I think this is actually favoring Vietnam here a tiny bit.
I would say that Leary is probably the player in the strongest position. He also went for Gillnet, so he's going to have a quite nice fishing eco.
But Leary is about to lose a couple of villagers here on the gold mine. That's not something that he wanted, and it's a great value for those leftover scouts from Feudal Age. They're not targeting the weak villagers, though. Oh, still, I think that was like 4 or 5 villas being picked off. And Leary wasn't able to find any villagers on the wood line of Song Song, so far if you look at the overall villager kitty, Song Song killed 11 villagers, lost 1. And Bad Boy only lost 5 villagers, and he's also Malay, so pretty much 3 of them are made up for. And now Song Song is moving to the middle for a TC.
Yeah, exactly. He's going to be utilizing those berries. He could also drop a monastery to pick up those 5 relics, which is a really huge boost to your eco. Meanwhile, Hera, he's moving out with some scouts to Bad Boy's base, but Bad Boy, he's trying to make some walls to prevent,
Yeah, that's the right choice. That's something that should have happened before. Quick walls are beautiful there, and that's going to prevent Hera from running in. Looking at Leary's crossbows, where are they? They are all the way back home, but that should just allow Song Song to raid Hera's base, and Hera's base is wide open.
I think the reason why Leary is staying at home is that he might be looking for a fast imp. If you look at his food count, he has 1.4k almost food, so...
And he's loading up like crazy. So he wants a fast imp here. The problem that you're facing when you're fast imping, especially against Malay, is that the Malay can react to that from very, very fast, and now if Hera gets steamrolled as well, this might not work out for Leary and Hera. It's a close one.
And we see Song Song is in the back of Hera's base doing some nice damage.
And many of those villagers are weak, so some of them just go down from 1 hit. Hera's already down to 44 villagers, and... I mean, yeah, Lear is gonna be an imp, but if he gets to Imperial, I think all that Song Song needs to do, especially if Hera is half dead, is just to run into his base with knights and force Lear to stay back at home. Lear also had a pretty unbalanced eco, which delays his imp by quite a bit.
Yeah, exactly. The good thing is that if Leary can keep his numbers alive, he's going to have a scary, scary army to deal with them.
That's a massive army.
For them to deal with.
That's already bigger than the archer numbers of Bad Boy. And, well, for Bad Boy, it looks like he's going to play 1 TC, so the chance for a fast imp is there for him as well. And he could hit the back of Hera's wood line as well. Vietnam has a pretty decent economical lead, especially thanks to Song Song here. But as you said, that fast imp from Italians could actually come in clutch. I would love to see Leary just mining a bit of a stone as well. So he could start thinking about a castle after or shortly after reaching him.
Yeah, true. Well, most of his stone mines are outside of his wall, so I think Leary is probably thinking it's a bit too risky because his eco is really fragile and he doesn't want to lose any vills right now.
Oh, for a moment I thought Song Song was trying to trap those villagers in, or those knights in there. If that was Hera or if that was Viper, he would have tried trapping those knights in there and just annihilating that. And now they're heading towards Leary. Leary is getting ballistics and Thumbreak now 50 seconds away from Imp. There is not even ballistics for Bad Boy, so I don't think that the Vietnamese can take this fight right now.
Yeah, meanwhile, Song Song also getting those relics in, so that will be a nice boost to his gold eco.
And the Bad Boy, he's about to Imp as well, already getting the Monastery up, and the only way, or the only reason to do that is to get to Imperial. He just needs to cancel a couple of vills, maybe even do some eco balancing, and he's gonna be behind, but not by an awful lot, and since Leary doesn't have Siege, they might be able to bridge this gap through here. Especially
Leary
if they
going
hit
for
Hera.
Arbalest, Racer.
Oh, beautiful quick walls there from Hera. That was some crazy quick walls from him. How many times will Hera and Leary save themselves with these crazy quick walls? It's not the first time.
But there's still a hole between the blacksmith and the barracks.
Arbalest, or soon to be Arbalest, now heading towards the base of Song Song. Song Song is going for house walls behind this one, but there will be a hole nonetheless. And I feel like this is the time to do damage here if you are Hera and Leary. A lot of villagers could go down from Song Song. A panic TC might come up for him on the wood line. But in exchange, I love what Song Song is doing. Head towards Leary's base. Just try to sort of compensate for the damage that you are taking, and just make sure that Bad Boy can finish the game. And Leary's base here is a little bit open. He's gonna go with the quick walls.
Yeah, I would love for Song Song just to get like fletching Botkin so that his defensive structures do a bit more damage.
Yeah. Now we have 65 villagers for Song Song. Still higher than Hera's vill count, but with those 9 villagers going down the right side, Hera and Song Song will be dead even. The leader just nailed that fast imp really well, and now Bad Boy is forced to chase those orbs. Elephants coming in here for Hera though.
Yeah, Hera, he's just recognizing, okay, I just need to play full 1TC, trying to support my ally with some, well, chunky units.
But those knights are most likely going to break into the base of Leary here. I don't think that he's got the villagers here to quick wall this in time. And that many knights breaking into Leary's base would absolutely shred his eco. Meanwhile, Bad Boy can't afford Arbalest. That's a massive problem. He has +1 defense crossbows with Bracer as opposed to Arbs with Chemistry and +2 defense.
Oh yeah, this is really, really bad for him.
Yeah, that's a horrible fight. They needed those Arbs to count. And now they all disappear, which pretty much leaves Song Song dead. Behind this one, Leary goes for once again some crazy quick walls. And I kind of feel like this Knight army could easily get trapped in here as well. Where is Bad Boy's upgrades?
Yeah, like he has 74 vills, so you would assume that he has decent enough eco to go for it. But
No, it's not the case. And now they're heading towards Bad Boy, and Bad Boy currently sits at 11 orbs as opposed to 49. He's got some defensive TCs and he can buy himself some time. The only good news for him is that Lear's eco isn't amazing either. In fact, Lear's gonna have a hard time replenishing the orbs with only 59 vills.
yeah, we do see Bad Boy adding in a couple more ranges. He will be on 6 soon, so he will be able to try and keep up with the army count, but Leary now being at his gold TC might lose a couple of villagers if he doesn't react. Okay, he does.
And Song Song is about to lose 15 vills in the middle, I believe. Song Song is just dead here. That timing push for Leary inside the base of Song Song came in so well. That pretty much won them the game, because now the eco of Song Song is in ruins. He's down to 44 vills. And as you said, from this point on, Hera just needs to support Leary. And just make sure Song Song is more dead than Hera is.
Yeah, exactly. And the thing is, Song Song had the amount of knights to try and deal with it, but they were just out of position, so yeah, he couldn't do much then.
And at the end of the day, Leary still has free TCs to reboom. Arbalests are now heading into Bad Boy's base. I feel like the Vietnamese team might be falling apart here, and this is where we have to mention that the first game was very long, and Hera and Leary are used to playing long and tiring tournament sets. Whereas for Bad Boy and Song Song, they're not that used to playing these super exhaustive, super long games.
Seems like this might be a little bit a better trade for the Vietnamese team.
Yeah, it's way better. But in exchange, Bad Boy is losing the remains of his eco. They're down to 110 villagers. Leary alone is at 70. And just look at that slaughter of Vils. Chemistry just now coming in. And, I mean, at this point, Hera has a much easier time rebuilding than Song Song has. Song Song is on 2 TCs, 40 Vils. But what's more brutal is that Bad Boy is at 65 Vils, 30 of them are idle.
Yeah, exactly.
And now they're taking down Hera's Knights, but it doesn't even matter anymore, because now Hera and Leary have a 40 villagers lead in here. Finally, Leary's Arbs get cleaned up inside the base of Bad Boy. But the only way this works out for Vietnam is if this is a super duper long game. The monastery is destroyed, so no more relics for Song Song for now.
Yeah, also Bad Boy, he's missing the last 2 defense upgrades on his Arbalest.
Yeah. He just now got chemistry. On the bright side of things, Leary was surprisingly low in archer numbers right now. And now it looks like Leary could get pushed off from gold on the front of his base. Are we gonna see the swing? This would be so awkward. There's a 40 villagers deficit for the Vietnamese team. But they're big survivors. We have seen that in the previous game. Or not the previous one, but the Arabia game, that if they see a chance to just drag it out, they will do so, and they will slowly boom back into the game. Oh, Thumbring was missing. Oh, sorry for interrupting.
Hera is quite ahead of Song Song, so he will just be able to support way more knights, while Hera and Bad Boy...
I think it's debatable, because Hera is still 1 TC, and Song Song is on 3. So Song Song will eventually catch up to Hera. The bigger deal here was that Bad Boy never had Thumbring up until now, so he took awful fights, as you said. Only +1 defense, no Thumbring. Monastery is up though. Song Song will be able to compensate with 5 relics here. Plus he's got the infinite food pretty much in the middle with the Frankish berries.
Yeah. Also, Leary now making a transition onto stone, so soon we might see some castles from in the center.
Yeah, beautiful ARP push, by the way, from Leary on the right side. 2 ARPs denying that otherwise beautiful stone and gold mine. Just making life even harder for Song Song. Arbalest numbers are still pretty close, but Bad Boy is behind compared to Leary, and as we discussed, Song Song is quite a bit behind compared to Hera. Although, as I said, I don't think that's going to last for long, and in the long run, Franks will be way better than Burmese here. That's also something that we have to add.
Yeah, for sure. Still though, we see Hera 30 knights, while Song Song only like 14, 15. So Hera having double the amount of knights, and they might be trying to look to dive this TC, but yeah, don't think that's the best choice right now.
Yeah, Ring Archer armor now coming in as well. A single knight from Song Song killed quite a lot of gold miners from Leary on the right. As the villager count of Hera and Song Song are now getting very, very close. Still, the ARBs are better for Leary. His numbers are slightly better, but the quality is the big deal, and now they take the only hill.
Yeah, I think a big game changer is going to be once the castles start popping out. I also see Hera on like 550 stone, so he's really close to dropping castle.
Yeah. And Leary, I think he's going to start mixing in Bombard Cannon as well. There is Hera's forward castle. This is going to destroy that monastery, take away all relics, and then take away all the berries from the Frankish players. So, yes, Song Song now has the same amount of villagers, but how are they going to stop this castle drop? I'm not so sure they have the power to do so. Not a huge amount of vills here for Hera, so he's gonna have to be careful not to get those sniped. Question is, does the Vietnamese team see that? And the answer is yes. Oh, they're heading towards Leary once again.
Yeah, Song Song indeed.
And now, since Bad Boy is in Imperial, he's going to start selling in some resources to Song Song. They want to have the Frankish player in Imperial for Cavalier. That would easily swing the battle in their favor. But obviously, once Genoese crossbows are out, that's not going to be a thing either. This could be a nice trap in here, though, for those blue knights.
Yeah, Hera moving back. Right now they're taking out the TC.
Oh.
And then
Song lost like 10 villagers building a TC on the north. Hera is just so good with those leftover knights. And look at what Hera is doing, just blocking the entrance into Lyri's base. But Song is imping.
And also some raids from Bad Boy on Hera right now. Hera finally went for a second TC.
So
yeah,
Arbalest
don't
numbers...
think this game is over just yet.
Yeah, Arbalest numbers are dead even. Both sides have taken quite a bit of a beating to the eco. The question now is, can you keep those knights alive until you upgrade them to cavaliers? Because if you do, suddenly there is a massive lead here for Vietnam. And so far the retreat has been in pretty decent order. They lose the middle temporarily, but I mean, the monastery still stands, so Song is getting that gold from the relics. The problem is that he's not really getting gold from anywhere else right now.
Yeah, well, he does still have some gold in the back. He's also adding in a couple more TCs, so he's rebooming. He still has a healthy amount of knights, and yeah, if he can get down to Cavalier, they might just have enough to reclaim the middle.
But look at what Bad Boy is doing. He's got 68 arbs. Leary has all his arbs in one group. And Bad Boy has 3 groups of arbs. All 3, or like 2 of the out of these 3, could hit Hera's eco here. You just need to get to the back of the woodland. Hera's got nowhere to go. And remember, Hera is now 3 TCs, but losing that many villagers could hurt him really badly. I can see this working for Vietnam, because now they're hitting Hera's eco really badly.
Yeah, I do so too. Maybe Leary needs to do what Bad Boy did and start slinging to Hera so that he can get onto Cavalier.
Exactly. Huge amount of villagers going down here for Hera, and with Imperial Age coming in for Song, they just need like a minute more until Cavalier comes in with +4 defense, and they can, I think, steamroll Leary's army here. That's going to be 34 Cavalier against 59 Arbs. That should be enough, and Hera's gonna have a tough time rebuilding his army. Leary is now sending 1,000 food to Hera, so that's a quick sling into Imperial. Here come the Cavalier. Hera isn't losing a huge amount of vills here because he's got the TCs up and he's making towers now, and there is no siege here for Bad Boy. But as I said, I feel like Hera and Leary could get their army trapped in here in a moment. And that's a lot of value there. Bombard cannons, 5 bombard cannons, 59 Arbs, all of that could go down to the Cavalier.
Yeah, and still a really huge amount of Hera's eco is being idled by Bad Boy.
Yeah, I don't think that Hera will be able to make a lot of knights once he gets up to Imperial, and here comes the big fight. That's enough Cavalier to fight this, even though they don't have the attack upgrades. Oh, the bombard cannon though! Oh my goodness!
That was sick.
This could be a game-winning move here of Hera and Leader, because they devastated those ARB numbers, which pretty much evens this fight out. Oh my.
Yeah,
this
that was really smart.
That is a slaughter there with the bombard cannons. And with Hera's knights being the meat shield here, indeed, Leary still retains 34 ARBs here. Hera still going for cavalry though. The problem, I think, for AM here is that now Song is pretty much back in action economically. He's got a reasonable food income, reasonable gold income, so he can keep sending in those cavaliers, and now Bad Boy can just go for a couple of skirms because Hera cannot support with cavalry. Hera has nothing army-wise.
Yeah. Hera 1 minute away from Imp, but yeah, he only has 8 knights, so not much to upgrade for right now.
Yeah, the good news for Tempo, or, well, AM now, is that Leary has a much better economy than Bad Boy does, which means that Leary could much easier sling his teammate than the other way around. Still, Hera only has 6 on gold. Like, those ARBs were very, very good at denying the gold mines, especially the back of the base, and now they could hit the back of Leary's base, which would be even better, because Leary is the real threat right now. As Song comes in here with the Cavalier. Should not take that fight. There's a cast on the right side by Leary. Song Song made a castle himself, and he's gonna get the traps out. And now I think that the lack of cavalry will show for Aftermath, because there is the cavalry raids coming in from Song Song, something that could easily snowball the game here if Leary loses a bunch of vills.
Yeah, exactly. And like you said, Song Song, he's making some traps, so he can start trapping down that castle from Leary. And if Leary makes his own traps, well, Song Song can just send in a couple of Cavalier to snipe those.
Oh, and Leary's TC here on the right side is gonna get denied as well. That's really good value. And if Leary is off from gold just for a brief moment, then suddenly there isn't really gonna be a lot of army for Aftermath. Leary still has a crazy amount of ARPs here, and he's doing a beautiful job holding this hill. Has pretty much all the relics available on the map. And now Hera is coming in with his signature move, the Light Cav, as the Cavalier will head into his base, though. I feel like he was able to hold off the Arbalest with his TCs. That's not gonna be the case for the Cavalier, and Lear is gonna get hit by the Cavalier of Song Song as well.
Yeah, it seems like slowly it's shifting back into the favor of the Vietnamese team.
Yeah, the thing is that Hera is trying his best to raid, but Light Cavs aren't particularly amazing raiding units, whereas for Cavaliers, they have a lot more damage output here, and you see, Leary's got 10 on gold. The gold at the back is getting denied from him. He's going to lose this gold on the right side, so replenishing those numbers is gonna be tough. And Hera is also losing considerable numbers of villagers now.
Yeah, and meanwhile, I also see Song Song making some markets, so they're thinking about trade.
Yeah, that's awkward on this map because you have a lot of mineable gold, and this could be a beautiful trap here by Bad Boy. He could trap all Leary's ARPs here with a couple of gates, and just have Song Song's Cavalier clean it up. Speaking of that, the Song Song's Cavalier are still running around the base of Leary. Ecos are still dead even, but this is so close. I don't think anyone is winning this one, to be honest, right now. The scores are a little bit deceiving, slightly in the favor of Aftermath, but I'm not sure if that's actually, like, legit.
Yeah, I think so too. Right now, the game is completely even, in my opinion.
Absolutely. Hera still mostly light cavs, but he should start thinking about Cavalier. He's got the gold for it. It looks like he's just gonna play Burmese Hussar for now. But now Leary's eco is getting absolutely destroyed, and Leary doesn't have wood income now. That's what they destroyed entirely. Not the gold income, but the wood income. And yes, he has a big group of ours, but if he loses that, replenishing them is gonna be really hard, and there's a bunch of skirms chasing them. And on the other side, there is Cavalier waiting for them. I don't think Leary is escaping this little trap here. Yeah, as I said, Elite Skirms come in here alongside Cavalier support, and Lear is gonna have a really tough time replenishing this. Added to the fact that Hera is still on Hussar, and his TCs are going down, I feel like Vietnam is now taking over in this game.
I think they might be able to clean this now with the Hussar and the Arbalest edition.
Yeah, that's a huge amount of Hussar. Song Song doesn't have a huge amount of Lumberjacks either, as Hera still has a lot of mineable gold on the left. Speaking of that, he's going to lose a couple of vills, and once again, both Leary and Hera recover very nicely from those raids, as even a Jaguar is joining the party on the north. Leary lost quite a lot of ARPs though, but so did Song Song and Bad Boy in terms of their numbers. Still Cavalier and Light Cav in for Song Song, as they're taking over the right side gold mine right now. There's still a lot of mineable gold, but map control is bigger for AM, and that helps quite a bit.
Yeah, and both Hera and Bad Boy had the same idea to make a castle there, but Hera is going to be faster, and he will secure those extra resources.
And now Hera's cavalry numbers are bigger, and if they don't have to take direct engagements, having more Hussar is obviously better than having a fewer amounts of Cavalier. But if they find Leary's operations here on the far right, Leary could lose a considerable amount of vills. And, as I said, replenishing those ARPs is gonna be a pain for Leary over time.
Yeah, I would like to see Leary sort of stonewall that right side, just to make sure that he doesn't get raids in.
Yeah, that should be a thing. Double the RB right now for Aftermath. It's only 18 ARPs versus 58. I feel like Vietnam's strategy B is running out of gold here really badly. Indeed, Bad Boy only has 2 on gold. So, clock is ticking, and they will have a tough time walling this one off as well. Trebs are already out for Hera, so protecting their trade is going to be a challenge as well.
Yeah, and now we see a push in the center on Bad Boy's base. Leary also has 3 BBC, so he does have some siege to support this push.
Yeah, it looks like now that the army numbers have fallen, I just don't see this one for Vietnam anymore. This castle on the left side is falling, and it's 20 arbs versus 61. How many times can this game swing? Because there were very, very much back and forth moments in this one so far, but I think now Hera and Leary are not going to let this slip out of their grasp.
Yeah, exactly. They're just raiding the trade routes, and they know that, well, the Vietnamese team doesn't have much gold left, so it will be really tricky for them to deal with this. BBC will start working on that TC. At least I think so. Yeah.
And now the villager counts are still even, but double the army for AM. And now Hera does what he does best, just raid with Hussar, his signature move.
Yeah, he was able to get the castle down. Still has 2 trebuchets alive, so he can just push forward that position. Ooh, we even see Elite Battle Elephant for the Burmese.
Yeah, the problem here, I believe, is that neither Song Song and Bad Boy have gold anymore. If they had gold, I think with the superior mobility of their cavalry, they could win this, but I mean, Song Song still has +2 attack Cavalier instead of Paladins. On this map, you can usually afford Paladin if you have sufficient amount of gold control, and that's not the case over here for the Vietnamese team. 59 villagers only for Bad Boy, cast on the left side by Hera. Tempo, or well, now it's AM. They will take game number 3 over here, and if I'm not mistaken, now they take a home map from the opponent, pretty valuable for them.
Yeah, indeed they do. Yeah, like you said, I guess that was sort of the problem for the Vietnamese team, that they never had Paladin, which is a really huge power spike. But unfortunately, we didn't see it this game.
Exactly. Leary's arbs are getting cleaned up over here, and I mean, Vietnam is still believing in this, but Hera is already going for 18 battle elephants, and he's got Manipur cavalry as well, which makes his cavalry attack a lot more against buildings. And I mean, Bad Boy has no economy, so as much as Leary is losing his numbers, Leary can replace them, and Bad Boy cannot.
Yeah, exactly. While his ally Song Song, he's on 164 still, so he's probably saying, just hold on a bit, let's see how far we can go. But yeah, Bad Boy's eco absolutely decimated.
Yeah, I know this feeling. It's like, just hold on a bit. I'm like, okay. And then 5 minutes later, your teammate asks me, what's your pop? And I'm saying 25. Beautiful game from both sides, really. And we gotta give a big shout out to Vietnam's strategy for this set so far, because it doesn't seem like they are that much of an underdog against arguably the strongest team in the tournament, 2 of the best players in the world, and Vietnam's strategy is putting up a very good fight here so far.
Yeah, exactly. All the games have been really competitive.
And we have to give a mention as well to Leary, who just marched into the base of Song Song. That was so crucial that he just managed to disintegrate Song Song's economy. Before that, Hera was very much behind compared to Song Song, and Leary's Arbalest push just evened things out there. That was the first step towards a sort of a comeback from Aftermath here. It's also worth mentioning, by the way, that Burmese was used up here by Hera and Leary, which is not one of their sort of amazing or power civilizations. So one of their later round draft picks, sort of a civilization that they probably consider weaker as well in general for these maps, is now gone. That's still beautiful, beautiful game from both sides.
Yeah, so now we're going to see another home map for the Vietnamese team. We saw Kabasan, so either Cape of Storms or Forest Pond, right?
Yeah, I think this might sound awkward, but I think you probably want to go Cape of Storms now. Because Forest Pond is a slower paced map, you just play a lot of long and grindy games. What if you go for a super aggressive Cape of Storms game for Vietnam Strategy? And they do have Saracens, and they actually pioneered the build on Cape of Storms, which was Saracen full market usage, double stable instant scouts, which might be the strongest pocket play at the beginning of Feudal Age that could be very devastating here. I wonder if that's something that they will plan going for. Alright, it's Cape of Storms, so I guess we are getting our answer. Are you ready?
Yes, I'm ready.
Alright, let's do a countdown. 3, 2, 1, and go. Welcome to Cape of Storms. We'll have Mayans for Bad Boy in red, one of the early draft picks, obviously amazing archer flank, and Saracens for Song Song in yellow. Other side is probably the other amazing civilization for this map, Huns for the faster producing stables, and Celts for Leary, which is probably the odd civ over here. You do have a nice wood income, so you can probably produce archers easier, but just get the feeling that Celts are not as good as the other archer flanks possibly over here.
Yeah, exactly. Celts, they do feel a bit off, but on this map, it's about getting archers out, and well, early on they can fulfill that role quite nice still.
Exactly, as we got Heron Leary teaming up on the scout of Bad Boy. Bad Boy loses the ego here right at the beginning. Scout's already coming out for Song Song though. One of the things that the Vietnamese team does not do is luring in the elephants. Something I always give a quick shout out to for the teams that do it, because that gives you a massive amount of extra food. But there is Song Song, and you see, he's already going for forging on his scouts, massive amount of market usage. Oh, for a moment it seemed like there was gonna be a lame. Okay. The House Foundation actually freaked out the elephant. So that bought the time Bad Boy needed.
To save it.
Because his own spearman almost lamed it. There is already double ranges for Leary though, 2 archers versus 2. But the key thing here is that the Song Song scouts are picking off the reinforcements here from Leary.
Yeah, exactly. Hera, he's running around, but almost eating some spears.
He's gonna have forging soon, stable. But this is why the Saracen build is so brutal. You're always gonna be ahead of your opponent. By the time Hera gets forging, there is a scale barding for Song Song. And you already see he's going for the second stable already. This is a brutal build here with Saracens. And when Song Song and Bad Boy played against GL, GL immediately banned Saracens for the exact same reason. This is the only team that does this build, but this is really powerful.
And I'm a bit surprised that we don't see Hera going on to the hunt.
He's Huns.
No, I mean for the hunt, like the deer
the
and the zebra.
Okay, yeah, that's awkward indeed. And that's gonna be a massive extra food income for Song Song. In exchange, Hera does have fish. And Song Song is just now sending out villagers to go for fishing. And that's the fast bloodlines that Hera needed to sort of compensate. But there's the fast bloodlines as well from Song Song. And he's raiding Lear's eco so well. This is an amazing build from Song Song. The danger is that his own base could get pushed and he could lose his hunters very easily.
Yeah, exactly. Hera still has a group of 5 scouts. They're roaming around and they could do a lot of damage.
Yeah, I feel like if Song Song plays a little bit more defensive, that could work out nicely. Archer numbers are dead even, but obviously it's very hard to micro against Leary. And the quick walls will actually work out here for Song Song on his wood line. He won't lose a single villager to this raid. He will lose the lady.
Well, meanwhile, another group of scouts from Hera is picking off the dogfill from Song Song.
Yeah, that's good value there, and the berry villagers are also exposed, so Song Song still needs to be careful about this one. He's going to lose a couple of vills. Best thing he can do is try to compensate. Right now, AM actually has a massive eco lead. How did that even come apart? It looks like Song Song is losing way too much, though. Yeah, he lost 6 vills, and he killed 1 villager only. That's just exceptional defense from AM here. 1 villager is only...
well, now he might be able to get some damage in on Hera.
Yeah, but Hera's got the scouts back at home. Song Song needs to do damage now because they're very much behind in economy. Leary also does have some fishing eco. Archers are now heading towards Hera though, and Castle Age on the way for Bad Boy as the first player. if he retains those archer numbers, suddenly this becomes a very, very nice power spike.
Yeah, and Leary, he's still like quite a while away from Castle Age, so this could work out.
Yeah, especially because the archers are marching up, and Hera is trying to chase with scouts. Song Song just needs to shield his teammates' archers from those scouts over here. Also, Hera doesn't have scale barding, so those archers actually do quite a bit of damage, and only 20 seconds away is Castle Age.
Yeah, exactly. And while they're pulling away all the army on the top, there's another group from Bad Boy moving towards Lyri's base. And if they get the upgrades in, that could be a massacre on Lyri's gold mine.
Exactly. 16 archers Lyri has. 12 of them are on the north. So there's barely any army, and there is some scout support as well. There might even be an overchop on the wood line. This could be perfect for Bad Boy. I think he could have even marched in, and this is a mistake then. He should have just ran in there. Nonetheless, this forced a defensive tower here from Lyri, as Lyri will send all his archers back, but Lyri is just now clicking up to Castle Age, and bridging through this 3 minutes gap is going to be extremely hard, especially with 4 scouts from Song Song, who is just going to tank the arrow fire.
Yeah, Bad Boy also getting the University Ballistics following. There was even another hole, so he picked up a reinforcement.
And now
And he will be able to just deny the gold mine if he sits there.
Exactly. There is no gold income now for Lyri. Added to the fact that Hera's gonna have to commit a lot of scouts to cleaning this one up. And this is looking really good for Vietnam over here. Lyri is launching a big counterattack with archers, so that's something that Vietnam strategy has to be mindful of, but Lyri will drop in arch numbers if he can't replenish those archers here, because he doesn't have gold income.
Yeah, and Bad Boy still has a group of crossbows alive in Hera's base. He was able to find a nice pocket to sit his his crossbows in, and
Yeah.
he's even moving there back again.
Luckily for Hera, his eco is still much better than the opponent's eco here, so that helps a tiny bit. A lot of spearmen out for Lyri as well, but Lyri is about to have his archers cleaned up here as well, I believe. And that could be a big loss before Castle Age, especially considering he doesn't have gold to mine.
Yeah, and Bad Boy has ballistics, so he can also chase down those archers. But seems like Song Song has plenty of scouts to deal with it right now.
We have to keep in mind, however, that in the long run, Huns will still be better than Saracens here. So Saracens want to win a fast game here, and now if we look at the overall ecos, Lyri and Bad Boy are pretty much even, but Hera has a pretty decisive lead over Song Song, because Lyri sent 2 fire galleys to destroy the fishing eco of Song Song.
Yeah, exactly. And like you said, Lyri and Hera, they are both on water. Well, no one for the Vietnamese team is on water.
Indeed. Now, it looks like Hera's gonna launch a big counterattack over here. Crossbows are moving in from Bad Boy as well. Oh, this is so tricky. I kind of feel like there's still more momentum in AM, just because their civilizations now are going to be better in the long run. Especially Huns over Saracens. Saracens wanted to finish the game by now.
Yeah, the advantage that they still have, or that Bad Boy still has, is that he has ballistics, so he can try and take some good trades, but Lyri showing his exceptional archer micro.
Yeah, ballistics against Lyria doesn't mean much, to be honest. And now Song Song is in the problem that he doesn't really have a well-established food eco, so it's not like he can just keep buying food forever. He will keep losing villagers. Now it's 155 gold, even with Saracen Market, for 100 food. They need to finish this game very soon, otherwise they don't stand a chance, I believe. There is fire galleys, though, from Song Song to destroy Lyria's fishing eco, so that is definitely the first step towards almost a comeback, because they are, I think, now on the back foot.
Yeah, I think so too. Hera still has a really awesome food eco, 41 on food, so he can just keep pumping out scouts, and if he wants, he can just idle a bit and then go to Castle Age.
Indeed. Whereas for Song Song, he's got 7 on food. 7 on food. And it's not like there's a huge amount of starting gold, so you can't just keep buying food forever. And yeah, I mean, AM is going to lose their fishing eco, but as you said, now I think this is the time for Hera to idle and go up into the next stage, because they're cleaning this up. Although there's next wave coming in here from Bad Boy as well.
Yeah, and looks like Hera, if you look at his resources, he's quite close to clicking up to Castle Age, so Seems like that's on the menu for him.
Looks like the scouts might actually get the pick on the Mangonel. Lyris Goldmine is still very much exposed here. Now his army is sort of off position. But as you said, Hera is on the way towards Castle Age. They need to finish off Lyri here to have any chance. But they might be getting closer to that, honestly, because now Lyri lost his fishing eco. And Lyri doesn't really have a huge amount of gold income now. So you're telling me there is a chance, right?
There is, indeed.
Forward
Also, a
villagers
second
coming
PC
from
for Bad Boy, all the way on the top on that extra gold mine.
Bad Boy's got forward villagers being sent. I'm not sure if this is just a misclick of wrong rally point or what. As maybe he tried to sneak a villager around and they just went for the shorter path. Lyri definitely is struggling quite badly with his eco as well, getting a market up. Hera, on the other hand, he can just flood out knights in Castle Age. In fact, I personally would have preferred him just continuing with scouts and just checking into light cap because he could just use those resources ASAP.
Yeah, and if Bad Boy can make his way onto Hera's gold, that will be a disaster for him. Hera is getting out of the market, so he might be able to buy some stone to get a defensive tower in time.
I mean, Hera could actually go to Imp with those resources. This is how much he's floating. The question is, will he have enough knights to fight these crossbows, though? Because, sure enough, especially now that Lyri loops around with a couple of crossbows potentially hitting Bad Boy, Hera's up to Castle Age, but doesn't have any knights, and he does have resources for a couple of them, but he won't really have the time to mass them. And he's gonna have a lot of idle time. Look at the crossbows from the north coming back as well, denying Hera's food eco. Hera is very, very happy probably right now that he had a huge food bank.
Yeah, indeed. And he's obviously Hunt, so he will be able to produce knights a little bit faster. On the other side, Song Song, he's doing a little bit of market juggling to make his way up to the Castle Age in a moment.
Market juggling with Saracens, first time we're seeing that, right? Lyri,
yeah, that's a staple for the Saracens.
Hera mass migrating to the north, though, and it looks like those scouts from Song Song might find those gold miners. That could be massive, especially considering that those lumberjacks are also running for their lives, and Hera has to pick his poison here, decide which of those villager groups he saves. Looks like he's going to maybe even save both, because Bad Boy just gives up on the chase.
Yeah, indeed, he's doing some good damage. Also, Bad Boy added a couple of fishing ships on water, so that's also helping out his eco quite a bit.
Yeah, and
meanwhile, Song Song, he has been on 2TC, so he has the strongest eco by far in the game. And saying that, he just clicks up to the Imperial Age.
oh my goodness, Imperial Age with Mayans. That's just a brutal civ. If he can get to Imp, this is amazing, but I kind of feel like this is very risky here. Especially now that Hera is in Imperial, or Hera is in Castle Age. Although Hera was forced to chase, so it was a good move from Song Song to just sort of run around with the scouts, force Hera to chase and buy time for Song Song to Castle Age, but that's a long time you need to wait until you get to Imp here for Bad Boy, and I think he's in danger of losing his forces.
Yeah, indeed. I think they might just have enough time. Also, Bad Boy has a workshop at home, so if he can get some good shots in, that could make sure that he's safe.
Yeah.
Song Song running into snipe those mangonels.
Oh, that's
might
beautiful
be able to get one
from Bad Boy. Look at the choke point he has found in the left side. And that's going to be so helpful. This army was doomed to fall, but now...
Oh, wow. Yeah.
That's going to be amazing, and in the moment that Hera sees that, he goes for a demo. I just knew that he was gonna do that, so it's not going to last for long, but it buys you some time, and once again, just pins Hera inside his base, and that's what you want. Making sure that Hera isn't moving out, buy your teammate time to get the knight numbers up, because Hera is at 20 knights, and Song Song is at 3.
Yeah, Song Song, half a minute away. He does have 25 crossbows at home, so he's definitely looking to save them to get the upgrades, and then he's going to be able to push out onto Lyri's base.
On the other hand, Hera now has the mobility, so once they see that we have Bad Boy and Imperial, you just have to use your mobility and raid, because you won't be able to take a direct fight. Imperial Age is in. And Lyric calls the Chi-Chi upon seeing Imp. They don't even try.
Yeah, that's surprising.
Oh, that
Because Hera,
was...
yeah.
That was awkward. I mean, obviously, on this map, mobility is a secondary thing because you can just march straight into the base of Leary and destroy him. But I mean, Hero could have tried getting some raids in. Maybe they looked at the score, but I'm not sure, honestly. Maybe they just thought that, okay, the arbs are too strong for us to stop right now. They can just march up here and destroy us as it is.
Yeah, indeed. I mean, Bad Boy, he just played a really, really smooth game.
Yeah, this was very good once again from the Vietnamese team. And I mean, even if they lose this set, we have to give a massive credit to them for how well they are playing throughout the entire tournament, really.
Yeah, for sure.
So, this leaves us with another home map coming in here for Aftermath. Atacama or Riverbelt. I think this is the time where you want to go for Riverbelt because from what I have seen, you can isolate the two players of your opponent on Riverbelt much easier. And individually, Hera and Lear are a lot better. So they need to just avoid getting double teamed by the Vietnamese, which is much easier on Riverbelt than it is on Atacama, I believe.
Yeah, I think so too. That's probably like their strongest map where they can shine their individual talent.
Okay, are you ready? It looks like they're going for Atacama though.
Yeah, I'm ready.
Alright, let's do a countdown with 3, 2, 1, and go. So, welcome everybody to game number 5 in this best of 7 in between Vietnam Strategy B and Aftermath B as well. Hera is playing Kumans as the Scout Civilization here on the left side in blue. Lyra is going to play Archers in Vietnamese in green. Bad Boy as Japanese in red, and Slavs for Song Song in yellow. How do you feel about Kumans being used as a cavalry civ? Most of the time with the discount in Empire Wars on their buildings, we see them as an archer civ.
I mean, well, they still have the faster moving scouts, so for raiding, that's quite nice. Also, if you want to go for full scouts, it's easier to add in some stables. So, yeah, I think they're probably good at both. So we're gonna see Archer against Scouts and Scouts against Archer on both sides. So as the Archer player, it's really important that you try to send forward some spears and some archers early on to do some damage. But Song Song, he's going to be able to pick off that Archer for Larry, while the Lion is busy with the spear.
Oh, the Lion. There is no wolves on this map, so we won't encounter Ornlu in here. As Hera is now going for the scout. There's a spearman forward from Bad Boy. That's a Japanese spearman to be precise. So Bad Boy is delivering a big punch. As, well, looks like Hera is coming in to get some raids in on Song Song. Song Song does have defensive spearmen. Both of the Vietnamese players are going for a lot of spearmen out there.
Yeah, exactly. And one thing that
Leary.
we see for Song Song is keeping some villagers on gold, maybe to buy some stone, but he's also switching on to stone right now, so.
Yeah, that's something that we have seen from the Vietnamese players on this map. They prefer to play with multiple towers. Hero actually saved his low HP villager while building a tower here from the spearman. And, well, for now, Bad Boy will continue to harass a little bit with those archers, but they won't be able to do that much. Looking at the upgrades, we already have forging on the way for Hera. No upgrades just yet for Song Song, but they actually take a pretty decent fight over here.
Yeah, they killed one villager from Hera, and also Hera had a villager running around in the middle of the map, which is getting picked off by the archers from Bad Boy.
Yeah, that villager had suicidal thoughts. The lion will just chill and wait for the archers to leave before actually consuming its dinner. Hera cleans up Bad Boy's forces inside his base, but he lost quite a few scouts doing so. as things stand, Vietnam strategy B is at 4 villagers lead because one thing that we didn't notice is that Song Song is fishing.
Oh, yeah. And he's also getting armor on his scouts. He has 8 scouts, and they can do quite a lot of damage.
Yeah, Hera coming in with Bloodlines and +1 defense, though +1 attack is already in, so Bad Boy has to be very careful with his scouts right now, or with his archers right now, because he could easily get those slaughtered. Where are the scouts at from Song Song? I don't see them anywhere. Oh, they're heading towards Hera, apparently.
Yeah, and Hera already added a second stable, obviously cheaper with humans, so it looks like he wants to go for full scouts in Feudal Age. Ooh, the berries. Quick reaction, but I think 1 or 2 villagers will fall down.
And that's going to be quite a lot of losses here for Hera, losing a bit of his food income as well. Added to the fact that there's already fishing, as I said, for Song Song, and boom, it is already an 8 villagers lead right now for Vietnam. It's more like 7 on average, but nonetheless, archer numbers are better for Leary though, and he is able to preserve them and go into Castle Age. That's what makes him very, very scary. Like, he's always been able to preserve his archer numbers. Defensive towers are up for Song Song, so I'm not sure how much damage those can do, but once those are crossbowmen, they will become a lot scarier.
Yeah, exactly. Song Song has done a good job at keeping his base safe, but the trade-off is that he is lacking in farm amount. Like if you compare his base to Hera's, Hera has like 15 farms, while Song Song only 5-6 farms right now.
Hera lost 2 more villagers here on the berries, and now the archers from Bad Boy are about to hit Hera. 2 spearmen also in there, so it's going to be a tough one to fight. But as I said, Song Song is also taking a massive beating here from the combined forces of Hera and Leary.
Yeah, Leary swooping in, picking off 2-3 villagers. Also Hera at the market, getting at least 1 more kill. The other villagers running back to safety of the tower.
Yeah, at this point, if you look at the villager KD, that's pretty even. Hera has lost 7 villagers and 4 kills so far for AM, but that's going to rise very soon with this tower. Yeah, that's quite a lot of dead villagers here for Song Song. Hera's gonna lose a lot as well, though, so looks like both cavalry players will suffer from pretty decent beating.
Yeah, Bad Boy also added a 3rd stable, while we see Leary just sticking with 2 stables right now. Also, everyone has migrated to the center except for Song Song.
So, looks like the archers of Bad Boy are gonna get cleaned up though, and this is the massive thing here. Bad Boy teching into scale mail for his spearmen, but I kind of feel like this is where things are falling apart. Just before Castle Age, all those crossbows going down. Although they might find a way into Hera's wood line here. That would be some nice value.
Yeah, Song Song has some archers near Bad Boy's base, but obviously those won't be a match for Vietnamese crossbows. Also in the middle we see another group of soon-to-be crossbows from Leary, so he might be able to do damage on 2 sides right now.
Yeah, he probably will be able to do damage here. And this is the problem that Vietnam is facing. They use small groups of archers, and, you know, those got picked off slow and steady. Whereas on the other side, Leary was just keeping his groups of archers together, more or less, and now he can just have 2 big groups of crossbows here. Fast ballistics for Bad Boy, but he only has 9 crossbows against 29 here. Despite the fact the villager count is pretty much dead even, I feel like AM has a pretty decisive lead here.
Yeah, I do so too. No, okay, we see University now from Leary, but Ballistics already on the way for Bad Boy. Hera also swooping in with a couple of scouts, and yeah, a lot of villagers are falling right now.
Yeah, at this point, that's 48 army versus 14, and a mass migration from Bad Boy. Atacama was the map that Hera and Leary practiced the most. I actually spotted the Hera practice stream before the tournament. They played a best of 5 against a team, and correct me if I'm wrong, if someone was there, I would love to have that info. But it was, I think, Bad Boy and Song Song they practiced against. And at that time, I looked at that, I was like, okay, both teams wanted some practice, but, you know, it was a bit of an unequal practice, so to say, in skill levels.
Yeah.
And then you look at the semifinals and boom, these two teams are here. I mean, AM being here is not a surprise, but Vietnam B is...
Yeah, we see Song Song pulling a Nikov. He's getting his eco upgrades right now.
Feels bad for Nikov, and also feels bad for Bad Boy here. He is getting close to being Dead Boy. 35 villagers only, and no reliable wood income. He's got 0 on wood, 0 on gold. Last time I checked, that's not the way that you want to play archers.
Yeah, we see also Hera being a minute and a half away from Castle Age. Though, Bad Boy, he's getting in some damage done on Hera's base, pushing him away from the wood in the center, but
Yeah.
Hera, he also has tower on his gold, so he should be fine.
Yeah, I believe that Bad Boy is doing some damage, but it's not able to compensate for his losses. And now Leary swoops in and hits the wood line of Song Song. Song Song's a little too slow to react, and that's going to be quite a lot of villagers dead. And Hera will be much faster to cast Lich. The first couple of knights popping out would be massive.
Yeah, massive indeed. Bad Boy, he did manage to find a stone mine, sort of at the left side of the map, but yeah, maybe trying to get a castle in, but I think he won't just have the army numbers to support it. Hera on three stables, we see 8 knights already in the queue, and yeah, GG being called.
Indeed. So, as convincing as Vietnam's strategy was on their own previous home map, this one is just in the hands of Hera and Leary, and really, I think it was expected, because this is the map that Hera and Leary love the most. It just plays to their strengths the best. So,
yeah, exactly. Really open, really fast, really aggressive map that suits their style the most.
And this leaves us with some forest pond action over here, I believe, since that's the final home map of Bad Boy.
The Vietnamese team.
Yeah, exactly. The final home map of the Vietnamese. So, let's take a look at what civilizations they have available for this one. Probably Koreans, and are you gonna pull the trigger on Sicilians here? You could do some transport shenanigans with it.
Yeah, exactly. Like early on, you could use it even to block some fire, or later on, you could use it to transport some archers.
Yeah, so there's a lot of things to think about. Maybe even a... I mean, it sounds crazy, but what if you do a Korean tower rush with the instant transport? That would be very, very cheesy, but I would love it. It's fairly obvious that Spanish will be one of the picks, I believe, for
Aftermath.
Yeah, for Aftermath, exactly. I'm also running out of steam here, so to say.
Yeah. Maybe like Spanish Portuguese, and then
I think Spanish Byzantines might make more sense, because Portuguese would probably be a great civilization for Riverbelt, and then you have Portuguese and Khmer, an insane combination of civilizations for Riverbelt, and on the other side, that's probably going to be Bulgarians and... Bulgaria? Actually, you can't go Koreans here for Vietnam, because you need Bulgarians and Koreans for Riverbelt. So it's probably Persians, Sicilians, maybe? This would be a very awkward combo. Let's jump straight into the next game. Let's see what we have here, and I think there is quite a lot of surprise. Are you ready?
Yes, I'm ready.
Let's do a countdown. 3, 2, 1, and go. So welcome everybody to Forest Pond. We will have Leary as Byzantines on the right side. In green. Down south it's Hera in blue as Turks. And we will have versions for Bad Boy in red and Song Song for Koreans in yellow. Looks like they will go without Spanish here and just go Turks. That's a good civ for a castle drop. If they go that way, but I think that Spanish would have been better if this game goes long.
Yeah. Well, Turks, they're not a bad civ. Obviously, they have the gold mining. They can still go for crossbow opening, CA, also decent water civ. So yeah, they can do a bit of everything.
Yeah, this is one of those matchups where we could see cannon galleons with artillery.
Oh yeah, that would be sick as well. But for now, we see Bad Boy sending out some villagers to make the stone wall. We might see Song Song do the same. No, he's opting just to send forward some archers with a spear. Meanwhile, Leary, he's going on water. Hera also with a dock. So Bad Boy went for a dock, but no dock for Song Song.
Interesting. So Song Song without the dog, that probably is gonna be archer opening, but I wouldn't be surprised to see a castle drop. Because I believe that the archers here and the spears are more about just securing that forward position, guaranteeing that you are gonna have that spot. And honestly, a castle drop here would be sick. That gold and stone are both on the front, and Leary would have a tough time holding this. Meanwhile, only one dock, as he said, for Bad Boy, and combined 3 docks for Hera and Leary, so they should have no trouble winning water here. Stone was on the far left by Bad Boy, so he probably just wants to go for a land boom here.
Yeah, exactly. And Hera, if he makes a market, he could buy himself up, but no, he's opting for the stable, so we might see like some light cav or knights for him in Castle Age.
Yeah, I can see that.
For now we see Bad Boy getting pushed back a bit on the water, but Leary, he went away with his fire galley, so not the best communication of water right now. Okay, now he's joining again.
Indeed, that should be a pretty easy cleanup for Aftermath, and if they have fishing eco here, they are gonna have a pretty massive economical lead, and this is where fishing eco matters the most, when you really need the food to establish a free TC boom in early castle. But Song Song is on stone, so we know what's coming.
Yeah, and we see already Leary adding a couple of fishing ships. Hera also produced his first one. Both of them up to Castle Age right now, and the last one is going to be Song Song. Well, pretty close Castle Age times, if you ask me.
Yeah, that's pretty close. Should be able to drop a castle immediately. The question is, will Hera send some scouts, or maybe even light cav? And because I kind of feel like that's gonna be the case on second forward stone wall over here by Bad Boy, so he really wants to make sure that Hera doesn't just blast his way through with a petard or something cheesy. It's obviously not going to happen because Hera doesn't have stone for a castle, but he probably wants to make sure that nothing crazy happens here, although he leaves a hole on the north. The real danger, I think, right now for Song Song is that he could potentially lose his forward to Hera's scouts.
Yeah, exactly. Hera smartly is adding some scouts because he's Turks, and they will turn into light cav once he turns Castle Age. They could quite easily deal with the forces of Song Song. Only one spear for archers, so...
Indeed, and it looks like those scouts will get through here. The villagers should not be able to survive this. Transport ship from Leary. He's making a transport. They want to transport Hera's scouts into the opponent's base. That's the grand plan.
Yeah, I think so too.
Aw, that's just such a cheesy move, but I love it. The villager for Bad Boy survives here thanks to some quick walls. But here comes Leary with the transport. But Leary is gonna have bigger issues to deal with, although it looks like... Wait a second. Song Song is going back home. Why did he change his mind? Leary saw him, that's for sure, because there was a scout, but... I am somewhat surprised about this one. This castle to me is a little too passive. He's still on stone, so he could actually afford a second one in the future for a castle drop, but I think he could have gone for a castle drop.
Yeah, maybe he was thinking that Hera had something there, or even Leary might already had some army.
Yeah.
We do see the siege workshop already from Leary, but yeah, they would have been able to place that castle really forward.
And we have to keep in mind that against Gamer Legion there were quite a few doubt castles from Song Song, so maybe he was like, okay, let's not risk it, just go for the safe castle, this guaranteed to go up, And I'm gonna work towards a second castle soon. Hera's gonna go 2 TCs though, and the thing is that if you delay your castle drop, that just allows your opponent to boom and expand.
Yeah, and what do you think that Leary is going for? Because he's still on 1TC. Do you think gonna stay water and then maybe do a 1TC? Or do you think he's gonna add eco later on?
Ah, that's hard to
Well,
say.
I guess we got our answer because he's
Yeah.
adding a second TC right now.
So, War Wagons on the way. Leary doesn't have a monastery yet, but there's a couple of scouts from Hera with 4 pierce armor, so that's something. The transport from Leary is going to be... Wait a second. Leary is transporting a single villager. What is he up to? Is he gonna drop
I guess
something?
he wants to make another dock to get more efficient
Yeah,
like fishing ships.
that's a possibility. Dropping another dock over here. Yeah, that's gonna be happening. For a moment, I was hoping that he's just gonna land and go for a forward archer range or stable or something like that. Hera will be forced back for the time being here with his light cap, but he's booming up 3 TCs. I just don't know what exactly his late game plan is with Turks. Like, Turks can be very, very powerful with bombard towers, maybe even full Janissaries. Like, having a lot of Janissaries with bombard towers is extremely hard to stop.
Yeah, exactly. Well, they do also have really great CA, Hussar, BBC, BBT.
Yeah, considering that
Even
Leary...
even some cannon galleons could be great here just to snipe the starting TC.
Yeah, I mean, Leary is Byzantine, so he's technically the archer player. So I don't think that CA is something that we're going to legitimately see. Or, like, the only way it works is if Leary is going for Catapracts, but straight Catapracts is just awkward to me. Although maybe against Koreans you could do Hub and Siege Ram.
Oh, and we're gonna have a castle draw from Song Song on the base of Leary.
Yeah. I would say that I'm surprised, but I'm not. It was probably very, very expected. And this is going to be a serious problem for Leary, because I think that Castle can range the gold mines and the stone as well. And it's also going to deny the monastery, so the monks will be useless pretty much against the war wagons.
Yeah, I think if I was Leary, I would already delete that palisade and just sneak out like 20 vills and just make a safe TC on the outside.
That's exactly what he's doing, and probably that's exactly what Song Song is thinking about.
Yeah.
That, okay, this is where you get trapped within your own base, and you have nowhere to go. And look at the food count for Song Song. I think this could even be a fast imp.
The good thing is that they still have the water control, so Leary could technically still make a transport ship, or he still has one, so he
Yeah.
could always transport.
I feel like when you have to escape with a transport ship from your base, that's already very bad. And it looks like Leary didn't notice his gold miners getting slaughtered. He lost like 5-6 villagers on that, and Song Song selling the stone, he's going for the imp. This is so good right now from him, and he could easily level the base of Leary here with a couple of trebs. But he is not the only one that's going into imp. Leary is on the way as well, as he transports Hera's light cav into Bad Boy's base, and Bad Boy is like, oh, not this thing. So, yeah, the problem that Lear is facing, I believe, is that he doesn't have stone. So, even if he gets up to Imperial, it's not like he drops a defensive cast and traps down the opponent's castle here. And he's up against a pretty concerning amount of war wagons. Hera's got 83 villagers, but as I said, looks like his late game unit comp is just gonna be Hussar.
Yeah, it seems so. I'm surprised that Hera is still making light cav, but okay, Leary is there with the transport ship, so I guess the plan is just to keep flooding with some light cav.
Yeah, looks like Lear's base now is under a lot of pressure, though 2 Mangonels managed to get a very nice hit. Song Song, he's coming forward with the vills. He wants a guard tower inside Lear's base. He's not letting up, but he needs to be careful not to get those villagers killed. Lear looks like he's stacking into Halberdier.
And now there's going to be a transport ship from Leary dropped off at Song Song's base. And Song Song doesn't really have anything at home, so that could be...
Yeah, that could be
good.
devastating.
Walling.
Just a little too late. Not sure what motivated him to do that right now. But if he thought about this a little faster, he could have actually saved this. We have Hero coming in with the light cav as well to try and fight off the push of Song Song. Song Song cues a trap immediately. Leary actually bought himself a castle, I believe, over here.
Yeah, I think so too.
And that castle is going up, but there is gonna be like a half trap advantage at minimum for Song Song. And I think that Song Song might even have a good heal to use here. In exchange, his eco is in absolute ruin.
Yeah, only 43 wheels, even dropping right now.
I mean, he's got a huge amount of wheels queued up, he just doesn't have the town centers for it. He needs to dispatch some war wagons to clean this one up, but this is just so painful for him, and really this landing from Hera is almost life-saving here for AM. Oh, but Bad Boy is back on water, and he's going to destroy Lyra's fishing eco, so at this point, I feel like Song Song is half dead, but Lyra is gonna be dead pretty soon as well. And if he loses his starting base and there is nowhere to go because the fire ships of Bad Boy are there, he is going to get defeated.
Yeah, the good thing is that our Hera is in a really good position, and he's going to be clicking up to Imp in just a second when he gets his buildings.
Indeed. And on the other side, there's a Byzantine castle for Leary, although he's not repairing, so that might just go down. For whatever reason, the trap backs up. That's actually a mistake here. Leary doesn't have stone to repair that castle, so even though he's got a Byzantine castle here that stands punishment for long, he won't be able to keep that up at this pace. He's now buying himself some stone, but that's going to be awfully expensive. He's already out of resources. And Hero needs to be an imp to slink him gold. That's the only way Leary could get extra gold or stone. I think that Song Song can take this castle down here. Because the castle trade wouldn't be ideal here for Song Song, but Leary is targeting traps. Hera's coming in now with the Hussar. Leary, on the other hand, I think he's about to lose that castle. Looks like the trap was looking to shoot at the light cap for a moment, and now Leary is in trouble. Because where exactly is Leary gonna go now?
Well, I think right now he can move out to mine some of the extra resources outside. But yeah, still having that castle in your base is not ideal, to say it lightly.
Exactly, and Leary is actually doing an excellent job surviving given the circumstances that he's being pushed by war wagons and traps over here. And if you're Song Song, you probably just want to destroy those TCs and let the war wagons flood in. Imperial Age on the way for Bad Boy as he drops a castle here.
Yeah, that might get denied.
Will it?
But Hera not reacting.
Yeah, Hera's
Great
not
wall
reacting
from Bad
because
Boy.
he's probably microing his monks here and his scouts on the other side. Lear is making a run for it. They needed Hera to do this because Lear needs to escape with a couple of vills. Otherwise, he's in the real danger of getting defeated. But this means that Hera's gonna get castle dropped here. Hera's an imp, but he doesn't have a castle. Looks like he wants to go CA. There's a lot of ranges in here.
The good thing for Hera is he's Turk, so he could produce some BBC from the workshop that he already has in his base.
Yeah, beautiful quick walls here, by the way, from Song Song to try and save the traps from the light cab. And Hera's got quite a lot of Hussar here, with a decent amount of Pierce Armor. They have 5 Pierce Armor here. Plus, he's stacking into Heavy Camo. Looks like Hera and Lear are holding this. And this is pretty vital here for AM, and I start to feel like this is where things will get really bad for the Vietnamese team, because you have Song Song who's only at 50 vills. He's having a decent amount of war wagons, but I think Leary can be a factor faster than Song Song can be. And on the other side, Bad Boy, he's stacking into halberdiers, but that's gonna take some time.
Yeah, exactly. And Leary is also dropping some ranges at Hera's side, so he will be supporting him probably with Arbalests or even Elite Skirmishers.
As a castle comes up for Hero, he even deletes all of his walls for easier access. Heavy Camel should be able to steamroll the initial cavalry of Bad Boy. Bad Boy will play Halberdier here, but he's also gonna need some sort of siege. And as we discussed, Leary is quite a bit ahead compared to Song Song. Song Song desperately needs a second TC, probably even a third and fourth one at this rate.
Yeah, his entire push is getting well, fell flat on his head. He also doesn't have ballistics. He does have fully upgraded wagons, except for the elite upgrade. But yeah, no ballistics is also quite huge.
Yeah, I'm not sure about Thumb Ring, but that's also something that's worth considering. On the other side, Dwarf Galleys are coming in here to deny us the wood from Era, so there is some damage done, but looks like Bad Boy might even lose his forward castle at this point. Halberdiers are not really great at just diving in and sniping trebs. And Hero's Hussars, with the 7 Pierce Armor, are actually coming in clutch. Maybe full Hussar was the plan for Song Song after all, or for Hero. Because if you think about it, it has 7 Pierce Armor and doesn't cost gold, so you can sustain it forever.
Yeah, and Hera now getting the castle down from Bad Boy. He's even adding in a couple of Janissaries. They will obviously do great against the Halberdier.
Yeah, they will be amazing. Other side, Song Song went for a couple of hand cannoneers, but now Leary's Trebs and Hera's Light Cav are coming in. How stylish would it be for Hera to win the final game, just pretty much going for Light Cav as his main unit for the entire game?
Yeah, that would be in true Hera fashion.
And now I feel like the army numbers are just getting way far out of control. 75 army versus 29. The army of Vietnam disappeared in just a matter of seconds. They have 3 camels and 2 halberdiers on the field alongside a battering ram. That's all. And I feel like, despite the fact that Vietnam Legends has put up a very, very good fight over here, that's the end for them. They were the underdogs and they really played it out well. So 4-2 against Aftermath here is really something that you have to tip your hat of. And if nothing else, they made themselves a huge amount of fans today.
Yeah, exactly. They should be proud how they played 4-2 against, in my opinion, the strongest team in this tournament. That's not an easy feat to pull off.
Exactly. So they are the only team that even got to the quarterfinals from the qualifiers. And not only did they get to the quarterfinals, they narrowly lost to GL. Things shaped out in a way that GL couldn't play, so they took their place, and I think they really stood out well in this one. This last game was a little bit more one-sided, but the Arabia game was insane from them. The Cape of Storms game was very well executed. Hera and Leary are the favorites to win the tournament after all, but still, Vietnam Strategy B has put up an extremely good resistance here, given how big of an underdogs they were.
Yeah, exactly. They played amazing. Especially that first game on Arabia, where they were able to drag it out, just use the civ advantages that they had. But yeah, now we're gonna have the finals coming up with AM against Brazil.
Exactly, that's going to be an interesting one.
Yeah,
could be an interesting
that's going
one.
to be played live, I guess. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. It's going to be played live. But nonetheless, hopefully you enjoyed. I'm not sure what you were thinking when you just said, okay, you're going to get the AM versus Vietnam Strategy B matchup with me. I was a little bit scared that you are getting a 4-0 stomp, but I think we got ourselves a very, very good set over here.
Yeah, exactly. I was also thinking like either going to be 4-1 or 4-0, but yeah, they just showed their class, Vietnam. And this was an amazing set. Well, Lidekor, thanks for having me. Yeah, I'm going to watch the finals, or at least try to watch most of it, because I have my first day of work tomorrow, so I'm quite excited for that.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much for joining. It was great having you over here. And, well, good luck on your work tomorrow.
Yeah, thank you. All right. See you later, man. Have a great evening. Bye-bye.